Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to
Bois.
King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, we got a very special episode this time.
Yeah, we do have a special episode for you guys. So, we were going to do this as a Friday episode, but we ended up...
It kept going.
We ended up enjoying it so much.
Oh, it was great.
And it lasted a really long time. So we're going to run for you guys. There's another King of the Hill podcast, and we've reached out to a lot of King of the Hill podcasts, and
some
have reached out to us. And on this particular show, the Hill Kings podcast,
it's a good show.
We've had on one of their hosts, and they asked us to be a part of their show. So
hosted by one Canadian and one seafaring Oklahoman.
Yep, and I feel bad because I can't remember their names off the top of my head. I feel really
Jeffrey?
bad about that. Jeffrey and Bobby.
No, they were fantastic.
It's Chris and I can't remember.
And Chris too.
Brad, Chris and Brad.
Chris and Brad. It was we had Brad on. Number one, we had a great time, and
it was a blast.
They are fantastic. They.
I like their approach too, because it's cool seeing, because we do our show our way,
yeah,
and it's cool to see like other renditions of how people do what we're doing.
And I really liked it. It was good point there. That's excellent. Yeah, it really was kind of cool to see how they completely do it differently than we do.
Yeah, and I think the thing that I liked most about the differences in the show and how they do it compared to us is the segment at the beginning where they have the PowerPoint presentation and they show
that was great.
They show the TV guide for all, and they don't kill you with the TV guide. They just have all of the regular networks.
I like talking about that.
Yeah,
it was cool.
It's all the network. It's not like TNT and all. It's just the straight CBS, ABC, Fox. NBC, CW,
or whatever it was,
WB
at the time.
Yeah. So it was fun to kind of see how somebody else does our show. So
it was great. It was great. I had a good time. I didn't know what to expect really going in, and they were great hosts. And so, without further ado, here is we did season 2, episode 10. By the way.
Yeah, season 2. It's season 2, episode 10.
What was it called?
Bobby Slam.
Bobby Slam.
Yeah.
And so I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's a little special treat. And we'll see you again after this. Enjoy.
Through the night, deep in the heart of Texas, the trailer park is nice and dark. Deep in the heart of Texas, Dad drinks his brew and he spits his chew. Deep in the heart of Texas, the TV blares but no one cares. Deep in the heart of Texas, here we go.
Cool, perfect. And we will just kind of start off with intro type situation.
Yeah.
We have a quick segment called This Week in Arlen.
Very nice.
Where I go through like what was going on during the week that the episode dropped.
Yeah.
That should be probably like 5 to 8 minutes. It's always a good time. And then Chris will run through the episode, just like kind of like
similar to how you guys do it. Yeah, we kind of talk through scene by scene and just point out the jokes and point out the references and that type of thing.
I can't wait for the next hour and a half. Then that'll be great.
We'll try to keep it to an hour.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah.
And then at the end we have a segment that we call the Alley, and that's where we'll give the episode a score out of 6 Alamo brews. and then we'll crown a Hill King for
Okay.
the episode. So
Cool.
MVP
Love it.
of the episode.
Sounds great.
Love it. Is our sound okay
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
great.
Good. All right.
Awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record on my
Sick.
end. She's speeding. Gonna hit the Zoom.
Recording in progress.
Why, thank you for letting us know.
It asks for consent.
Thank you,
Mhm.
robot.
Very nice.
Well, it doesn't really. It just says it's doing it.
I
It's-
used to hate hearing that. I was
Yeah.
doing college online in like 2021. I was doing some school, and I would be sitting there with like my bong and a beer, and you would hear this is recording. I'm like, what? I gotta hurry up, like clean everything out of the
I
scene.
gotta turn my camera off. Shit. Hell yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. Excuse me. Sorry.
Everybody good? Everybody ready?
Everybody's good. Everybody's ready.
ready to
Let's
go.
go.
I'm gonna kick the theme song off.
Mm-hmm.
Hill Kings Podcast.
Mm.
Whoa.
Sunday morning, rain is falling.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Share some color, share some skin.
Welcome back, Chris. We have guests on the show today.
Yes.
This is
Mhm.
the Hill Kings podcast, and we have experts
Yes.
in the hill, in the King of the Hill
We have-
realm.
I think
We
we're on
have
the wrong
supreme
call.
subject matter.
Professionals.
Yeah.
We have Rusty and Mike from the Bois podcast,
Howdy.
the
Wow.
King of the Hill podcast. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank
Well,
you,
our
guys. We really
our little
appreciate
show.
that.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Here's what I've learned in the 3 years of doing this: talk over each other as often as you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great
for
Overlapping
sure.
dialogue.
Oh, great
That's
content!
what it's all
Yeah,
about.
people
I
love
just
it.
spilled
Mhm.
coffee all over myself too.
There you go.
Heck yeah,
So it's
dude.
going well so far.
Well, that's like A, then
Hey.
B, then the next thing is you shit yourself. So it'd be great.
Exactly. Yes. And we did just hear about
sorry.
how Chris's baby, Good Hank, baby update, y'all.
Yeah,
GH.
For the fans listening, GH has not pooped in multiple days.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pray for us.
Well,
So Chris, let us know about that.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know.
Págame.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know I'm at a certain age where I haven't pooped for a couple of days as well. So
We're also
It's
praying for you.
solid-
yes.
solid-
Let's hear some more about
Sol-
that.
I'm
solid-
flowing
That's
regularly.
great
Well, it's a-
detail.
I
it-
keep a lot of fiber in my diet.
I have solidarity with your baby, and I'm hoping to start a club of some kind.
Yes.
We're all about baby solidarity on this
That's
show.
Chime
Single-
into the comment section
I don't know if you guys
Please.
are into baby
if
solidarity.
you haven't shit.
Oh, their protests are so cute.
Mhm.
The cutest
Gaga.
protests. Tell us a little bit about yourself, fellas. How long has the podcast been going on?
Yeah.
What is the whole deal with it?
The whole deal. Well, to start off, I asked you questions like that when we were off the air. I was like, "Hey, so what do you do?" And then, I mean, that could be
Yeah.
taken any way,
Mhm.
Plus, we'd already met, so that was a real gaffe on my part. So we've been doing this podcast for what? 3 years?
We've been doing it for almost 3
Yeah,
years. I
almost
think
3
our
years.
first episode released at the very end of 2021, the beginning of 2022.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this. What was that? What just happened?
I don't know. It says something
Okay.
about battery or something. I
Oh,
think.
shit.
I think we're good.
Well,
though.
if it goes down, it goes down, and we'll
Yeehaw.
rejoin you guys. Yeah, we've been doing it for almost 3 years. I know we've been doing it at 3 different locations.
yeah, we're in our third
this is
location
our-
right now.
We're in a 4th location
Nice.
for the studio itself, but
Third location that we've
location
been
for the
recording.
show.
Yeah.
And is that voluntary, or are you guys getting like kicked out?
Most of it
Are
is-
you
most-
recording in places without
Mhm.
consent.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
you're
situation there?
trespassing,
Yeah.
loitering,
Well,
squatting in
It-
studios.
It used to be the mop closet at 7-Eleven. And then
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember when all the 7-Elevens left Texas. They
That's
all
good
became
audio.
Yeah, they all became Circle K's. And then Circle K didn't want anything to do with us. So we ended up moving in the back of a nail salon, which a lot like what's his face from Breaking Bad. And then now we're in a high-rise building. So, the normal way it works, you start
I was going to
moving
say
on
it's a
up.
nice day behind you.
7-Eleven,
Yeah.
Circle K, nail salon, high-rise building.
We're in it's like a historical building in town. It's like the oldest, tallest, not oldest, but like the tallest old building in town. It used to be the tallest skyscraper this side of the Mississippi when it was built. So
that's what they called me in high school.
It's the Western skyscraper, the first one.
That's what they called me in high school too. The tallest, oldest student.
That's really good.
Good stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll be here all week. Try the tuna.
What town are you guys in again?
We're in Waco, Texas. WACO.
Cool.
The home of Dr.
We've
Pepper.
got real Texans on the show, Chris. Chris
Real Texans
is an
alert.
Oklahoman,
Ooh.
and I am, unfortunately,
Also
Canadian.
Oklahoman.
Are you in Canada now?
No, I am in Oregon.
Okay. All right. So you're
Canada Light.
Broom closet of a 7-Eleven.
You're Canada
This is
adjacent.
the nicest 7-Eleven in Oregon.
You're in Canada Light, Oregon.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's
Diet
great.
Canada.
That's great. We got a lot of people around here from either the Oregon or Portland type regions. The guy who owns us, is from Portland.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I mean personally, not the business.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
your owner.
Hey, I just need a plan. That's all. And so if that helps, then that's great.
I was just in Texas last week. I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The Colony.
Oh, you were in the Colony.
The Colony.
Yeah, they're doing some work. Yeah,
fancy schmancy.
Very fancy. Where your
funny place.
Yeah,
funny place.
Your ice cream costs $12, and there's nowhere to park.
Exactly.
The Colony, come see us.
Any fans from the Colony, chime in.
Chime in.
They can't listen to this. They have like very bespoke radios and things like that. They're giant.
Oh no, our
listenership
stuff is very high class.
Are they?
The suits. We dress up. Yeah.
Well, that was something I was really impressed with when both of you came on the Zoom. I got one that's dressed like the captain from Captain and Tennille. And then the other one, the one that's in Canada, he wearing a nice little sports jacket. He's got a beautiful background. I mean, you guys look the part. You look great.
Bob's Burgers on the TV.
The CRT. I love the CRT thing. Yeah. I'm a collector myself. I have like 6 or 7 CRT TVs. I only watch TV on a CRT.
A man after my own.
That's the way to do it.
There's only 3. There's only 3 shows you can watch.
Yeah, I only get 3 channels.
Yeah. All right, let's go, man. Let's do some King of the Hill.
We are here
Let's do it.
to talk about Season 2, Episode 10, Bobby Slam.
Bobby Slam.
Of King of the Hill, everyone's favorite 90s cartoon. But you know what we got to do before that, Chris? You know what we got to do.
Back in time,
everyone's favorite segment, This Week in Arlen. And I'm going to go, this will be an edit point right here. I'm gonna go
edit point. We're in an edit point. Say what you want.
Flag on the plate.
Whatever you want.
Say whatever you want.
Yellow card. Yeah.
Yellow card.
Yellow card. Yellow card. Edit point.
We just sneeze really loud. That's how we find our edit points.
Nice. Oh, the soundboard. Looky.
Don't peek. Don't peek. All right.
I'm peeking.
This episode, of course, as you guys know, as King of the Hill professionals, aired on December 14th, 1997. Of course, this is the segment of the show where I, Brad, go into depth on what was going on in the world around town during the week that this episode aired. December 14th, 1997. What do you think that you guys were doing?
Yeah. Leading up to Christmas. Day. Where are you guys at in 1997, Christmas time?
1997 Christmas time, 7 years old, praying and hoping for a Game Boy. I think probably at that time. I think Gen 2 Pokemon Gold and Silver was probably getting ready to come out around that time. Maybe
Pokemon has come up on this segment multiple times.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I was waiting on in 97. Actually, no, sorry, I take that back. It was a PlayStation 1 is what we got for Christmas. Me and my brother got a lot of shared gifts. Nice. And we got a PlayStation 1 that year. So
with the pop-up lid for the disc, man, that was so nice.
Where were you at, Mike? Christmas 1997.
December 14th, 1997. I had one kid already.
Okay.
Wasn't mine, so I had to return it. But I think I was working. Shit, this was 5 years before. So I was working as the manager of an IT department. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
Mr. IT.
I was on my second marriage, which would come to an end soon. And then the next thing I remember from 97, would be 2001 when something happened. Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the towers.
Yeah,
got
that was about it. I think I
Yeah.
black out between 97 and 2001.
Which fun
Yeah.
fact? The
so there was
episode
kind of a
that
4-year blank spot.
Yeah.
there, huh?
Well, it's
Well,
not the only one, but sure, yeah.
fun fact:
Oh,
the episode that
God.
we're actually on is the last episode that airs before September 11th happens.
Oh yeah, that's the one
Oh,
we're
wow.
covering this week.
That's the
yeah.
one that we're covering
Yeah.
this week.
Big one.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Big one in the news. Can't wait until I get to that one for this week. In
Ooh.
Arlington.
Post
Ooh,
9/11.
yeah.
Oh,
Spicy,
Hey,
real
hey,
spicy.
By the way, guys, I don't know that we said this, but thank you so much for having us on your show. By the way,
Oh
heck
yeah, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we
I was
appreciate it.
Excited to have you.
For the listeners, we have brought up these fellas in the past because I did guest on the show a few months back. Chris
You did.
had other priorities, I guess.
baby.
What was
Yeah.
your
Well-
excuse again?
9/11.
Yeah, there you go.
Fantastic.
That
Call
his
back.
Child was being born.
Blame it on the Saudis.
Is that when your baby was being born during that show?
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I wasn't on, whenever Brad guested, we were
You
in
know-
the hospital.
You know, and I don't know how much this has to do with this, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. We have a show here on the network that is about a doula, right?
Interesting.
I'm still not 100% sure what a doula does, other than like cheerleader,
A doula oblongata.
in the
Mhm.
thing. But anyway, when she first started her show, we sent a recorder in with her, and she recorded the entire birth. And then
Whoa, that's wild.
We used that as an episode. So I'm just saying,
That's crazy.
I think you had a missed opportunity there.
Well, speaking
Yeah.
of doulas, there is going to be some nice dually in this episode later.
Oh
We
Nice.
got a dually. We got a dually
Oh,
line.
yeah.
That's the type of jokes
Nice.
you get on this show.
Uh,
Let's
it's
get
just
into
a
the segment. How
Great
about it?
transition.
heck
We
yeah.
always like to start off with a peek at the TV guide. Just kind of like give it a little rundown. A running joke on the show is that I am just trying to turn it into a Simpsons podcast because
Mhm.
I'm a huge Simpsons fan.
Sure.
But we have a repeat this week, so I won't bore you. But speaking of 9/11, there is a very classic Simpsons did it on the city of New York City versus Homer Simpson.
Oh, really?
With there's like a newspaper that he holds up that has the two towers on it and the number 9.
Oh man.
or
Oh,
maybe
is this one of
9/11.
them? Oh, this is one of those Simpsons did
Yes,
it.
a classic Simpsons did it. Anything standing out here on this night of television to you guys?
I mean, the
Um,
Flintstones is on up top on ABC.
I guess what would stand out to me would be on the Fox thing there. I would watch The World's Funniest, The Simpsons, King of the Hill. Then the X-Files would come on, and the theme song to X-Files used to give me deep anxiety. So that's about the time I would
Oh,
either
yeah?
leave the room. Yeah, like I don't know
You
what
just
it
really
was.
bad.
Me too.
It just
was
gave
scared
me
of it.
a deep.
You were
just
scared
a
of the
weird-
song?
I wasn't really scared of it. It just gave me anxiety. It gave me like a weird anxiety. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable by the noise that the
How
soundtrack
weird.
the soundtrack made. So I would I'd leave the room usually if that's what my parents were watching, and that's when I'd go read a book or play video games or something.
I just want to comment on ABC's selection for the ABC
Mhm.
Sunday night movie, Holiday in Your Heart. I don't know if you guys remember
That's
that movie, but
I don't know that one,
Leanne
actually.
Rhymes, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I
It's the
don't know
true
anything
story
about
of Leanne Rhymes.
Are you for real?
I looked it up actually.
Oh
Did
my
you
god!
really?
Oh, wow, that's funny.
The true story of Luann Rhymes. I was born.
Yeah.
Then I started singing.
She was only like 15
Yeah.
in '97 though, wasn't she?
I don't know. It might have not
Yeah.
been Leanne Rhymes.
I
I
I'll
know she was really
fact-check
young
that
when
with
she
the
started. She
episode.
got famous when
was-
she was like 14.
it
Or was
was
that
this-
Jewel? I
it
don't know.
was
I think that I
this-
feel
I
like they
did
were
look
both
it
like
up. It
teenagers.
It was this guy who owned a Christmas tree farm. His name was Jeff Rhymes. That's what it was.
Oh,
It wasn't Leanne.
Exactly.
It's her uncle.
And he had a daughter.
So X Files, just real quick, I'm gonna tell you my only claim to fame with X Files is went to a concert in Austin at a place called the Black Cat to see a band called the Flame Trick Subs who do our theme, and right before the place burned down, we went to the last concert there, and who I met there was a guy all blue, tattooed with puzzle pieces all over his face and all over his body. Honestly,
Interesting.
his name was the Enigma, and he was featured on the X Files in a couple episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting.
So there you go. There's
That's
my,
I
interesting.
will find a picture of him and
And-
put it up
yeah,
on
you
the
should.
screen.
And
for
you're saying
YouTube
the club
viewers.
burnt down shortly
the
after
club
the
burnt.
Enigma was
the
in
club,
there?
the club burnt down like it was about a week
Wow.
later. Yeah.
I wonder if it was an enigma or not. The
Enigma
Riddler all
related.
tatted up. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Enigma.
Um,
yeah.
I will say the WB is continuing again with the All Right Already show, and they're really rough titles at
Again
the
with
end
the
there.
sexual harassment. Yeah, it's been kind of a string of that show having questionable titles
Yeah,
for their
they're-
episodes.
Their titles are always like again with the marital issues, and you're like, oh, what is
Again with 9/11.
this? Is
you
the
know?
WB?
Well, this is
shout
about
out to Flintstones.
This
though.
is about
Yeah.
the time I think that All Right Already solved racism, right? Isn't that about when this happened?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
and they're about to solve
then, they
sexual
solved
harassment.
sexual
with
That's right.
their
Now
Solve
they-
race.
sexual
Well, I
harassment.
mean, you got to move on to the next problem, whatever it
Crazy
is.
that show doesn't get more credit.
It got a 1.9, by the way. If you
All
look at
right,
that,
already.
1.9. That means 3 guys in Omaha watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Moving on, Scream 2 came out in theaters this
Oh,
Oh,
Friday.
there
Nev
you go.
Campbell.
There you go.
My favorite Scream.
Uh,
I think the best of the Scream franchise. In
My favorite Scream is from
Really?
Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, but Scream. My friend's sister, she was a big Nev Campbell fan. She had like Nev Campbell posters on her walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
I was a
it.
big Nev
Is that the
Campbell
end of the
fan,
story?
too.
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that
it.
was it.
I just kept waiting for
Shout out
something else.
Nev.
It was like,
Shout out to
Shout
Nev.
out Jada
Well, Nev
Pinkett
Campbell.
Smith.
Well,
Keep
Nev
my wife's
Campbell
name out of
is
your fucking
the
mouth
woman
style.
that helped her come out of the closet and realize she was gay. So
really?
shout out to Nev
Okay,
Campbell.
yeah.
And then Nev
Shout out
Campbell.
to-
Shout out to Nev Campbell for
I feel like
being
there's
such
a couple.
fox.
Hey,
I
Nev.
feel like that's not as similar an unheard of story as Nev Campbell turning ladies.
Sure.
I mean, she turned me straight.
She made me
so-
feel stuff when I was a
Yeah.
kid. So did
100%.
Courtney Cox.
Oh, have you seen her face now? There's
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, nowadays.
What
it's,
happened,
kind of
lady? Why would you
unfortunate,
do
but-
that?
Jennifer Aniston still
Her
takes
and-
the cake. She's like 50 and she still looks like she did in like the first season of Friends.
Jennifer Aniston.
Nice. You
She,
guys-
she has come up on the pod several
You guys are
times.
hitting our bingo. You've already
Yeah.
talked about Pokemon. You've talked about
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
Hey, it's the 1990s, man. I'm a kid
Jennifer-
of the 90s
Yeah,
myself. You know,
baby.
like he raised
Welcome to
90s
the-
We
kids, and I
love
am a
the
90s
Rachel.
kid. So.
Jennifer
We
can,
all had the Rachel in the 90s,
Jennifer
right?
can do whatever she wants.
Oh yeah,
I'm good
the
with that.
headlights always on thing. Like I saw an article about that. It was funny because she had just recently posted a picture on Instagram, and then there was an article that was talking about how you could see her nipples in like every episode of Friends.
And that,
Yep, that's
and
why
that
I
is,
love Friends.
and that's what they talked about on the WB.
Yeah.
Home Alone 3.
And Home Alone 3 came out this
God.
week.
The
Coming up on
disappointment.
Christmas. Who the fuck is this kid?
Look at
Where
his
the fuck
face.
is Macaulay
He doesn't even
Culkin?
look like he's
That's what I
excited to
was
be a
thinking
part of
when
the
this
movie.
came out.
Look at
He
his
looks like
face.
his face looks
I'm
like
here.
Home Alone 3. You know, it's
Well, he
okay.
look- you know,
I guess.
Before we
Yeah.
started this, and I asked you what your deal was, you said it's a living. Look at his face and repeat that phrase.
It's very
a
much a-
living.
it's a
you know?
living,
Yeah.
It's a living.
Yeah.
It kind of gives me like, I'm sorry that I'm not Macaulay Culkin,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you get what
Yeah.
you get vibes.
Very apologetic
Yeah.
face, like facial structure there. You know,
I
little
thought this
smirk.
was a dog food commercial. Yeah. that
Also,
kind of thing.
very 90s to just continue to do the franchise with
Oh,
a whole
absolutely.
completely different.
Yeah, just replace the kid.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this, so I'm sure it's like
Thank God we don't do that
separate from
anymore.
his family. But look how evil the villains in this one look too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stepped it up with.
It's like a
the-
mob. Instead of just fighting
Yeah.
two homeless dudes, he's now
Well, they
fighting
killed
like
the
kid.
4
Yeah.
organized criminals.
Yeah, they actually slit his throat at the end of the movie.
The kid from
Yeah,
Home
they
Alone
look
3?
like they have silencers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that's why
That's
he
all
looks
I'm going
like
to say.
that.
Good.
That's actually the look of fear of death. inside.
That's
He says,
crazy.
"Why do you gotta know?
Because
like,
they do.
I'm bleeding out.
Who is that again? What
I don't
child
know.
actor is this?
No one knows.
Nobody
Never heard from
knows.
him
This guy
again.
sells insurance at this
Moving
point.
on.
Hey, I know her.
We've
Well,
talked about
well-
this a lot. "Candle in the Wind" has been the #1 song in the country for
Mm.
fucking half the year,
Sure.
guys.
Sure.
Mhm.
I actually,
and it's still #1 in December.
And think about this just real quick. Sorry, Rusty, I didn't
No,
mean
you're
to
good.
step on you, but think about this. That's a song that he just retreaded.
yeah, he did. It was a retread.
You know, it was
Mhm.
when you
Yeah.
think about this song, nobody ever brings up the fact that it was a song already, and he just redid it for this.
he
dead-
just changed
for
the
a dead
name.
lady.
Yeah, he changed the name because he was personal friends with her. This was actually a I'm British national, so I was.
You can
know,
hear it, can't you?
Obviously,
You can hear it. Yeah.
You can tell in my voice. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night with my mom and sitting there and watching the entire funeral run of Princess Diana.
oh
So,
wow,
yeah,
it was a big deal.
it was huge.
I thought you were about to say you woke up in the night because you could feel it. Like
I could feel it. Yeah, I was like sweating out.
knew
I was
about it.
like
He knew what happened. Princess
screaming her
Diana
name and
her
reaching for
lover.
the ceiling. Diana,
The people-
no.
the people's princess.
Well, anyway, if you were around and had the radio on at this time, you were probably hearing this bop. #2 song in the country was also an Elton John song that was like the B-side
Hmm.
of this song. So Elton was killing
The
it
number
at
2
this time.
song was a B-side of Candle in the Wind.
Yes.
Wow. It was
Shout out to
yes.
Sir Elton. Jeez.
Well, the thing they don't mention is it was for the paparazzi.
Exactly.
It was really weird. It was like, the Diana song on one side, the paparazzi song on the other side. Hey, all these can't be jewels, gentlemen. So that's just the way it goes.
No, that's good.
No, that was gold.
That's a finer. The paparazzi bit is a finer point of the Princess Diana story that I don't think we've really explained on this podcast, and our younger listeners.
Yeah,
are
we
be
should.
Like, what
let's
the hell are they
No,
talking
they
about?
know.
Yeah, let's spend
No,
about
let's leave 'em.
45 minutes and let's go into that.
Yeah.
Would you?
Let's leave them in the
This
dark.
is now the Princess Diana show.
It was
Go
the
listen
firm.
to the
They
Princess
took her out.
Diana podcast
Yeah.
about it. Our sister pod.
It was also a pretty big night in Phoenix. I don't know how tuned in you guys are to records for the Phoenix Coyotes, the now defunct NHL franchise.
The
Mike
Utah
Gardner
Coyotes,
scored his
thank you very much.
700th. Yes, now going to be the Salt Lake City Soakers.
Is that what they
I
are?
believe is what
The
Super
Soakers?
Soakers, actually.
Salt Lake
The-
City
the
Soakers. That's a good
Storm
joke.
and Mormon.
Oh,
That's
man.
good. That's funny.
I wish they would just embrace their Mormonism as far as naming these teams.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because there is no
The
jazz.
Elders.
There's zero jazz in Utah. Number one, there's none.
That's
It should be the
You
Utah
can't-
Bumblebees.
You can't find jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and I have never seen a whiter audience. I mean, that is
Yeah.
the whitest
Yeah.
audience there is. Just embrace it, guys.
I don't know why they
Yeah.
don't lean into
the
like
magic
high
underwear
thing,
or something
they have
like that.
on all
do
the
you think
road
they're gonna make
signs.
them wear it under the uniforms?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I absolutely do.
the Mormon underpants.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, I mean, you got to wear it if you're running for president. Certainly, you got to wear it if you're playing hockey.
Mhm,
Yeah.
If you're
That's a good point.
getting your teeth knocked out, yeah.
Yeah, for the Lord.
But it was a big night in Phoenix on this night. 700 goals, nothing to scoff at, bud.
There you
That's a
go.
lot.
That's a
Little
lot of
Canadian
scores.
in
Yeah.
there.
It's a lot in one night.
It was also James Comey's 37th birthday.
God.
Whoa.
Wow.
I bet he looked
In
37
97.
when he was 12.
Is,
Yeah.
is this an
Yeah, for
image
sure.
from that era? Is this like
No,
a
this is
period
way
No,
correct
this is
image?
this is I believe from the testimony that he
Yeah,
did
the
recently.
recent-
in the
Oh, so
recent
that's kind of
testimony.
recent. Yeah, you can see the
Yeah, I couldn't
bags
find a
underneath his
picture of him.
eyes need somebody to carry.
This is
it.
from his defamation trial.
Yeah.
his defamation trial.
I actually modeled my suit after him.
Ooh.
See
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It's a-
yeah, I
Comey
could tell.
fan.
It's
yeah.
an original-
cosplay.
it's an original
James Comey
Comey.
cosplay.
Comey inspired.
the Comey cast.
Comey
The
Comey
Lakers
over.
also rocked the Mavericks. Shout
Oh,
out Texas.
Yeah.
Kobe dropped 30 on him.
We got
Good.
we got a real big Mavs fan
Nope,
here.
nope, not at all, not at all. Big Spurs fan, so I'm glad to see the Mavs lose, even if we have to go back in
nice.
time to see it.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama.
You got it, baby.
My boy
But big
D-Fish
night
putting up some
for the
respectable
Lakers.
numbers.
Derek
It was
Fisher,
still
is that who you're talking
Chicagoland.
about?
Yeah, I'm a Thunder
Derek
player. I
Fisher
like,
was
Oh,
7-7 and
man.
5. That's
We
really
got-
Dang,
good.
Kobe
we
put
had
up
Derek
30.
Fisher at the end of his career.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this was around the time where Kobe started to really pick it up. Obviously, it was still the Bulls league
Yeah,
in
sure,
97. but
sure.
Coming up on the Kobe Shaq dominance.
I've always hated the Lakers. Will always hate the Lakers. Never been
As
big
a Spurs
fan.
fan, I feel like you have to hate the
Well,
Lakers.
it's just the attitude. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
I
need
understand it.
They need a good talking to.
yeah. We're Oklahoma City and Toronto guys.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Exciting stuff.
So you got
right now, yeah.
you got the Rent a Kawhi, and
Mhm.
then you got the
yeah.
the Southern Sonics. So
Yeah.
that's good.
No, I root for all Texas teams. I don't really watch any of the basketball or anything like that, but I root for all Texas teams. But it's the Dallas Stars and the Houston Texans. Those are my two
Oh yeah,
sports
I
teams.
used to be a Dallas Stars season ticket holder, baby.
Oh
Mike
yeah.
Madonna, yeah.
Mike Modano, I've got a jersey in the closet.
We-
Marty Turco.
We had
Yeah.
we had a minor league hockey team here in Waco
Yeah,
at
we
one
did.
time called the Waco Wizards, right? Which
That's amazing.
great name, good alliteration, good stuff. But at the-
Waco Wizards.
Waco Wizards. At the time, I was with that IT company, right? And so we were a big sponsor, so I got to go out on the ice and shoot the T-shirt cannon every game.
Oh,
that's
hell
awesome.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's a
that's
dream of
so
mine.
dope.
yeah, that's
That is
a
a bucket list.
that
Did you
is a
target-
bucket list. You're exactly
Did
right.
you target people with it?
Oh,
Like,
fuck yeah.
try
Why
to,
wouldn't
like,
you? Yeah.
Try to like peg a kid.
I'm gonna hit him right in
head
his
with
neck.
it.
Here's a free shirt, old lady. Yeah.
That adds back to The Simpsons. That's how Maud Flanders died.
There it is.
yeah, exactly. She got blown off the top of
This
the
is
bleachers. Yeah.
Hit with a t-shirt cannon and fell out of the stadium.
all of it's so serendipitous.
Wrapping it up here, this night was the premiere of
Mm.
Titanic at the
Fantastic.
Chinese Theater in
You
Los
know,
Angeles.
Yeah, Gromans.
Not to interrupt you, but it's kind of crazy you mentioned the Titanic premiere because rest in peace to the captain, the actor who plays the
He
captain,
just died.
just passed away this morning. I think it was today or last night,
really?
but they announced
No
his death
way.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironic part of it. He drowned.
Who is that? I haven't.
I can't think of his name. He was also in Lord of the Rings too. He was in Lord of the Rings as the
Gandalf's cousin.
Ian McKellen.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Ian McCullen.
Bernard Hill.
Yeah, but
Bernard
I can't remember his
Hill, you
name.
looked
Wait,
it
his
up,
last
Chris?
name was Hill?
I did. Yes,
Oh.
Bernard
Oh,
Hill.
see,
Whoa,
it's
whoa,
like
dude.
it's like we're in.
We're Inception right
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
yeah.
we're in the middle of
There's
there's
layers.
layers.
Oh, wow. I
We're in
didn't
the
know
middle
this.
of an
Yeah, he
onion
plays-
right now.
Yeah, he's Theoden from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Theoden. I
Theoden.
can't remember
Holy
his name.
shit.
Yeah, he's like the guy
Oh.
that's like gives this super inspirational speech before they like charge off into battle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ride,
Shout
ride
out.
to your ruin.
There's
Yeah,
The
yeah,
world's
yeah.
ending.
there's 4 of us here. Who has seen Lord of the Rings? All of them? Raise your hand.
Oh, I've seen it
Yes.
probably 15 times,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the
Mhm.
extended
You,
version
too?
at least
I have
4.
seen it 0
Yeah.
times.
Really?
I have never seen Lord of the Rings.
I really thought you had seen it because I've never seen it. either.
Nah, I've not
I've
seen
seen.
Lord of the
You guys have
Rings.
both
I-
never
so,
seen Lord of the
I like
Rings.
Well,
weird stuff.
here's the
It's
thing.
not weird
Cut-
enough for me. It's like
Cut
a
the stream. Cut the stream.
Lord of
I
the
like weird
Rings.
stuff.
Lord of the Rings for me is a 10-minute at a time watch because my wife has it on in the
Mhm.
background. That's what Lord of the
Gotcha.
Rings is. for me.
if it was
That,
fully
Harry
animated.
Potter, all of those. I don't know. I could never do.
I like animation, so if it's fully animated, I probably would have watched it. Like I watched nothing but cartoons, so if it was
Now,
a cartoon, I
There is
probably
an
would have seen it.
animated version
Yes.
of The Hobbit.
Ralph
I've seen The
Bakshi.
Hobbit. I've
School
seen that.
animated
We watched
ones.
that in school with
Ralph,
the book. We
Ralph
did the
Bakshi.
book.
Yeah, Ralph Bakshi did that, and same guy who did Fritz the Cat.
Yeah.
but he did a Lord of the Rings
Oh.
and the Hobbit.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know about the Lord of the Rings animated one, but for sure the Hobbit one. We did the book movie comparison in high school, so I
Yeah.
remember that one.
He just held them up in front of people. And
That was
said,
it.
Look,
Just
this
say,
is a
is
book,
this
a
is this
movie."
one similar to this?
This
one?
is a
Yeah.
book.
This is a book, kids.
VHS.
Pictures.
Highly recommend Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And highly recommend.
That's really going out on a.
We just-
It's going out
we
on a
just
limb
skip
there.
them.
Really highly recommend the.
I'll have to watch
biggest
it an
movie
hour
of
at
all
a
Skipped over
time.
the
time.
Titanic.
Well, it premiered. That's all we got to
The
know,
Titanic.
right?
It's
Yeah, you
huge. It was
folks know
huge.
it.
Leo was there.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Celine Dion was there.
You could see a
Canadian
booby
legend.
if you were a young lad in that movie.
A booby, yeah.
You could
Yeah,
see a
that's
booby.
true.
yeah.
I
That's
remember
true.
seeing that movie in the drive-in theater.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't remember
In
seeing that movie
Bathurst,
until it
New
came out on
Brunswick.
double VHS,
Harder to hide
Oh,
your
the double
boner at a
VHS.
The double
drive-in.
VHS.
and it would always piss me
Well,
off.
if you're in the back seat, you
Yeah.
got a blanket.
Well,
you
I'm
know?
just saying,
can bone
chances are, look, it's 97. So how old were you guys?
I would have been 6.
I would have been
Yeah,
about to turn 4.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I was 7.
That was unneeded sexual innuendo for a child. Then I didn't mean to say that,
Yeah.
that a 6-year-old had a boner in the back seat. Sorry.
Yep.
You never know, right?
True.
I
true.
didn't
Had to
actually
come out of
view it
nowhere.
until much later.
You flowered young. You were.
Yes. I am a
To
blossoming
Leonardo
little boy. Oh,
DiCaprio.
Leo on my nardos. Should we get into the episode, Chris?
Yes, please. Because we
Alright,
still got
let's
a
do
lot
it.
to talk about. There's a lot of good 90s stuff still going on here, folks. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
season 2, episode 10, Bobby Slam. Your blurb for this episode is Bobby joins the wrestling team, is caught in a dilemma when he has to fight Connie in order to make the team. This one is directed by Wes Archer, of course, and is also directed by Chris Muller, who is involved in a good number of King of the Hill episodes, but this is also the guy who created Tripping the Rift.
Oh
Do you guys remember that
no!
show from the late 90s to 2000s or early 2000s?
I remember when he played for the Golden State Warriors. Chris
Ah.
Muller. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Brad, do you remember Tripping the Rift at all?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh man, Tripping the Rift was kind of like a proto Futurama, kind of like takes place in space. It's real kind of like semi smutty. It's got a cast of different alien characters. You would recognize the visuals if you pulled it up, I bet. But it's
Who
like,
did it?
Chris Muller's in it, a couple other big actors in it.
Because I
notably
remember the name. I
Stephen
just-
Root.
Oh, Stephen Root was in it. That's
Stephen Root
Okay.
plays the main alien,
Okay.
Chode. He's the main
Chode.
alien's name is Chode.
subtle.
He's got 3
What?
eyes. Brad, put a picture up on the screen here at
Oh,
this
there
point.
will be multiple
Yeah.
photos on the
Mhm.
screen.
Yeah,
You'll
that's-
remember it
This
when you
looks
see it.
insane. There's so many boobies and
Yeah, there's a 3-boobed
An
lady and a
alien.
lizard. Yeah, it's you'll remember when you see it. But Maurice
Insane.
LaMarche is also in this show, and he's voiced a couple
Shout
actors
out.
on King of the Hill. Yeah.
Shout out.
So yeah, he's directing that. Chris Muller, shout out to Tripping the Rift. Written, of course, by Judge Daniels, and then writer on this one is going to be Gina
Recording
Fattore.
stopped.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh no.
Your recording stopped.
no.
Disk space is full. Let me go grab my hard drive.
All right, you got it.
Yeah, no, you're
Oh
good.
no. Okay, guys, look up while Brad is gone. Look up that show, Tripping the Rift. I'm surprised you guys
Let's
don't
look up
remember this.
Tripping
It's
the
a
Rift.
it's a fever dream of a show.
Like I say, I remember the name, but I don't know that I.
Oh hell yeah, it's a fever dream. That is like, yeah, no, I recognize that. It's like it's that early CGI
shit, I do
animation,
remember
kind of
that.
like Reboot, the TV show Reboot. I don't know if
Yes.
you know, and then like
Yes.
Beast Wars Transformers, like the first two CGI
Mhm.
cartoons. That's what it reminds me of. That kind of animation
It's
stuff.
a 3D rendered porn parody that just happened to be on TV.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Uh-huh. And the main character's name is Chode. And it's Steven
Chode.
Root.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna watch that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've never
Yeah.
heard that. Like, I'm really big into animation, so like to catch me off guard with an animated something is pretty tough. So
Well, the guy that
that's
dir-
different.
Well,
the guy that
it was
dir-
like 4 seasons.
yeah, the
Yeah.
guy that directed this also, it looks like he directed Heavy Metal.
Mm-hmm.
The 1981 movie Heavy Metal. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that.
Yep.
But it was a big
I
deal
have, yes.
in my childhood. And then he also directed A Year of Doug.
A Year of Doug. That's random.
I
That's
love
that's
Doug.
like
There you
that needs its own podcast. That's a
Doug does?
all time classic.
Or
Yeah,
just
I love
that one
Doug.
year?
We need to do like
Dougcast.
a psychological
Just a
analysis
year.
of Doug.
98 to 99. That's all we cover.
What about Fish Police?
Just
Have you ever
one-
heard of
just
Fish
the
Police?
season that Chris Muller does.
That's right.
Fish Police? No.
Okay, so it came out around the time of The Simpsons, and the
Maybe
goal
I
of the
have.
show, was to John Ritter is the main character. He plays the voice of the main character. So the premise of the
Yeah,
show
he's been
was
on here.
to
I know John
like
Ritter.
compete with
What
The
the heck?
Simpsons, like adult animated, but it's like a fish detective. And one of the first lines in the show, it kills me every time I hear it. He goes, "I'm a carp. Who's a cop?"
My God.
I don't know.
Actually,
It's just
let's
hilarious.
look at
The
that.
writing is really good. It's got solid writing in it. And it's got an all-star cast. Like Tim Cook, I think, is in there too somewhere.
Wait,
Interesting.
You said Tim Cook earlier. Or do you mean Tim
I'm
Cook?
gonna
No,
to
I
write
don't mean
Fish
Tim
Police.
Cook. I
'Cause
mean
that's the
Tim
Apple
Curry.
guy.
I
Tim
mean
Curry.
Tim
There we
Curry,
go.
not Tim Cook. I keep saying Tim Cook.
He has Tim blindness in his brain.
He plays like
Oh my gosh.
a loan shark or something, I think, inside of the show.
Yeah.
But it's a great show.
There's also like a babe fish on here too.
Babe
Yeah, it's funny. It's
looking at the
it's
shit,
only
it's
one
6
season,
seasons
but
long.
it's like I wish they would have kept going with that. At least I wish I had like 2 or 3 seasons of it. That would have been great. But
I really love to dive into like the writer, director, guest star shit on this, and there's so many connections in the show. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
but
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been
That's what we
Recording
were
in
just doing.
progress.
We have an Adult Swim podcast that we just started,
Yeah.
and we were
Mhm.
we always attach things because we did a David Letterman podcast. That's how we like first started podcasting. So we always try like we're
Interesting.
looking at connections. We see the connections to like the David Letterman show, and then we see the connections to things that are Adult Swim related, and then the connections to things that are King of the Hill related.
Do you know all the people
Yeah.
that were in this damn fish show?
It's an
I mean,
all-star cast.
We're talking Ed Asner, Tim Curry,
Yeah.
Hector Elizondo, Robert Guillaume, Buddy
was-
Hackett.
It was right at the end of all of their relevancy. So like they threw all this all-star cast together. and it
Jonathan
flopped.
Winters.
Yeah.
Wow, it's just crazy.
Oh, Phil Hartman. Phil
viewers-
Hartman was on it.
Viewers, listeners, we're back from our technical
Hey, guys.
difficulty, and we're chatting
here we
about
go.
a show called Fish
Yes.
Police.
We
We
missed
are
you.
recording again. Sorry about that.
Fish
y'all.
cops.
Don
Fish-
Knotts.
yeah, check
Don Knotts is a voice on this
Yep,
show.
he is. It was like I said, it was an
This is
all-star
nuts.
voice cast.
Fucking Don
It was an all-star
Knotts.
voice
Dom's
cast.
nuts.
Dom's nuts. You got it.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Fish Police.
Fish Police.
Yeah, check out Tripping the Rift. Check out Fish Police. A writer on this episode, back into it, Gina Fattore. Gina Fattore wrote on Californication.
Yeah. That was a good.
She
show.
also wrote on Gilmore Girls
Great show.
as well. So
That's
Star-
a good
that's
show.
a
They just
writer-
talk too fast.
Stars Hollow Forever, baby.
yeah, they do talk really fast.
They have
That's
to have
kind
the
of
most words per
I
minute
love
of a
that, though.
sitcom.
I love that 40s kind of feel. Like, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kyle, where you going, buddy?
Yeah.
You know,
Have
that
you
kind of
watched
thing.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel then?
I have not. No, I've heard that
Oh.
it's about
I
the same.
haven't
Okay.
either.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's good. Shout out.
Yeah, I should watch
But
that.
yeah, let's get into the episode.
Let's start the episode.
Yes, this one opens up
Sorry.
finally. Finally, nephews. No, it's been good. We got a lot done here. Yes, we call them nephews.
Because the only person who listens to this show is Chris's 6-year-old.
Oh yeah.
5, 6? I don't know.
Yeah,
Hi, Ben.
Shout out Ben.
Just in time to get a boner. Sorry.
Yes.
There's
Don't watch Titanic.
nothing
Ben.
better than a
Don't.
great callback, though, guys. Come on.
Kyle, don't let him watch Titanic.
Excellent. Shout
So
out
good.
Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Yes.
Do your homework.
This episode opens up with Bobby and Connie playing a pro wrestling video game. Very fun.
Oh yeah.
Mrs. Supernusempone calls and asks if Connie is over there and doing her homework, and Peggy makes a fun joke to herself and says that they're wrestling with some word problems. Very fun. She's just like,
wordplay.
oh, Peggy.
She's the best.
But professional wrestling is going to kind of be one of the main themes of this episode here. We get the origin of a meme right here in the beginning of the episode. Did you guys catch this, for you King of the Hill meme heads? In the
No.
beginning scene, where Bobby holds the sign up to the window and Connie responds with
Oh,
the
yeah.
If those
computer
kids wish
monitor.
they could read, yeah. If those kids could read meme,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh no,
Wait,
that's a different episode. This is Bobby and Connie doing it.
Okay.
There's multiple Bobby holding up sign memes.
There's the one where if those kids could read, they'd be very upset one, and then there's the one where Bobby will. I'll send you guys an example later on.
Put it up on the screen.
Yeah, there's a little meme origin alert there, but they're playing video games. They have to get separated. Peggy gets woken up at 5:40 in the morning with an urgent
emergency
call.
substitute teacher call.
Emergency
Which is
sub
so
call.
funny.
Hey, I'll tell you this. I've been on the end of that call. I've gotten
Were you
those
a
calls.
sub?
I was a sub for a couple of years.
too.
Yeah. Really?
I used to sub as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And you get those calls.
I'm a dom.
You that's good stuff.
Oh, God.
Very nice. Man, you threw me off, and that's hard to do. That's great. You would get those calls at like 5 a.m. and they're like,
Yeah.
Mrs. Johnson killed herself last night. Could you come sub on this class or whatever? I went into one
She
time.
finally did it.
Did she leave a note
I went in one time
for the
and
class? For the class.
I was called one time by this. It's like a, I don't know, whatever you call those schools that don't have to be like other schools. And so
Charter
schools.
there you go. See, you knew what I was saying.
I used to teach at one.
yeah.
They're the worst.
They really are. I went in and it was 5th grade. And so they didn't change rooms, like they were in that room the whole day kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went in and they just told me, okay, you need to get in there. I don't care what you teach today, because their teacher left screaming. So apparently she had a breakdown of some kind.
Oh wow.
Left,
Common. Yeah,
left
common.
just screaming, and there was just papers everywhere, all over the desk, crap piled in corners, all kinds of stuff. So this wasn't like a slow break. This wasn't a fast break. She was slowly breaking over time here, and then finally she
Yeah.
just walked out.
Scene of the crime.
I stuck with her I stuck with those kids for the rest of the year. And
Good for you.
because it was no, it was just a job. But because it was,
I don't care about those.
I don't care about those kids. But because it was it was a charter school or whatever you call it. It was in an old grocery store, and their playground was the alley. So
That's awesome.
That's wild.
Those kids
That's crazy.
they were super prepared for the future.
Hell
And
yeah.
you just put on Titanic and said, "Hey,
You got
what
it.
your-
Harmony?
You got
how
it.
your
This
body
is a
saying."
movie. This is a book.
First one. That's right.
Yeah.
This is a movie. This is a book. This is Titanic. Sit down.
Yeah. Peggy's going to get called into sub for girls gym. She asks if they left a lesson plan, and the person on the phone says, we kind of forgot to hire
There
a
it
girls gym
is.
teacher.
Yeah. I
Very
love that Hank, when he finds out about it in the morning, just completely disregards it. He like gets excited. He's like, "That's a real class." And
Mhm.
Where
then
are you
finds out it's
stationed at
girls'
today?
gym.
He's like,
Yeah.
oh, do I have any clean shirts? The whole women's sports not being important punchline to this episode is very, very 90s sitcom.
Oh,
Yeah, this is not the first time we've seen this type of storyline, but yeah, Peggy's getting called in to do women's gym. Hank does not care once he finds out it's girls' gym. They're starting their gym class with like a presentation of what sports they should do.
Yeah, was this
which was
a
a little
thing
weird.
for you guys?
What's up?
in school? Like having to like choose which sport you do in gym? This was completely foreign.
There wasn't
to me.
nothing like that for PE class for us because I didn't really do like athletics. So just regular PE was you're either going to walk or you're going to run or you're going to do whatever the chosen activity is. So if the activity that day was basketball, whether you played basketball or not, you're playing basketball that day or whatever the activity was.
The only reference I have for that is I did sub for gym one time.
Okay.
And we just played with the parachute for a while. You know, the parachute that
Ooh, that
everybody
sounds
would
fun.
grab and go up and then go underneath and go up.
Yeah. We did that.
And then you
We
had
did that
those
like
little things
kindergarten
with the
though.
wheels where you run over people's fingers.
Oh
Yeah.
Remember those?
Those little scooty boards.
Yeah.
I think
Hell
that
yeah.
was American Universal. I think anybody that went to like an American public school has.
We had those in Canada too.
Oh, y'all had that in Canada? Well, yeah,
we
North
played
America
a lot of
light.
floor
Yeah.
hockey and curling too, bud.
Yeah, we didn't have
Curling,
that.
human
we didn't have none
curling.
of that.
Well, in the gym here, the kids are going to be given options of what sports they want to do. The basketball coach thinks you should try basketball because you get to bounce a ball. The wrestling
Bounce a ball
coach,
in hockey, that's a mandatory drug
That's
test right
That's
there.
right. You got it.
yeah, I thought that was
That's a
pretty
good
funny.
one. Good job.
The wrestling coach says essentially that everybody makes the team and you get to wear a jacket.
And Bobby's excited about the silver piping. On
He's
this
like,
shirt.
ooh, silver piping. yeah.
Fashion name.
So we cut over to the mat and they're passing out, the headgear, the ear pads. And the coach is going to do a demonstration and he asks a kid to come up and go at him. And then he just absolutely blocks this kid and then kind of goes into this rage mode. And he says, that'll teach you to pull a knife on me.
Seems to have a bit of trauma there.
To this kid. And the kid's like, what? He's like, what are you hopping around for, Hoppy?
Hopping around Hoppy.
It's very funny. The coach just has that. Yeah, speaks like this the entire time.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, who's the voice actor for the coach here?
Oh man, I didn't look that up.
Wow.
It's the guy,
Oh no.
Wow.
it's the guy that played
Chris.
Gandalf.
I know.
What was
Yeah,
it?
they didn't.
What was the coach's name?
Oh gosh, I don't even recall.
Coach Ball.
Is it Coach Kleehammer?
put it up.
Yes, it's Clay
Yes.
Yeah, Coach Kleehammer is voiced, I think, by Toby Huss. He's the one who does the voice for Sufa Newsom.
Yeah.
He's the one
That's
that
what
always. Anytime
Okay.
somebody has a voice
This is
like,
the
"Oh,
debut.
that's gotta hurt," it's always Toby.
Yeah,
Huss,
Toby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Confirmed. Toby Huss.
Toby Huss. Nice. Thanks, guys. That's why we had the experts
Yeah,
on.
Hey, man.
that's
We
why
That's
we
it.
bring
We
experts
played
in.
the part
One
of
of our
Wikipedia
misses.
in this episode.
Yeah.
The girls just have a real crappy ball though. That's bouncing around all weird, and they have to blow it up to pass it around.
General sports.
We cut to the alleyway and starting off with a real funny small talk conversation between the guys. They're saying, so and so's decided to patch his driveway, and they're like, "Where'd he get his asphalt?" Dale's like, "Johnson's," and Hank like almost spits out his beer. I just thought it was really
Well, I just love the fact that there's a
mid-conversation.
bad asphalt dealer.
yeah
Yeah.
Yeah.
Low quality.
Deep lore.
yeah very very funny.
He's on that
small
mid
joke.
pack. Yeah, that mid asphalt pack.
He's got the cheap rocks.
Yeah.
So Bobby pedals up. He's really excited. He tells the guys that he made the wrestling team, and Hank is super excited. He's like, "Heck yeah, Bobby, that's a real sport."
Proud for the first time.
He's like, "That's an Olympic sport." And then he's like, "Wait, this isn't something some guy in a van with a camcorder is doing, right?"
That's good stuff right
Yeah,
there.
that's funny. Very
Mhm.
90s.
He's
Stranger
not gonna let you
Danger
watch
90s.
Titanic,
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to take me to the drive-in to watch Titanic.
Go get in the back of the van, Bobby. Rose is in there. It's fine.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
So we cut back to the school. Peggy is fed up. She's going to go ask Principal Moss for a new ball, and this is where we get our Dooley content for the episode. So Dooley is sitting outside the principal's office, and he got in trouble because he peed in some kid's locker.
Yeah. Waiting to see the principal. Absolute legend. We love Dooley. on
Dooley's the
this show.
best. Yeah.
Yeah, we like Dooley too.
Yeah. So
Your
Peggy
mom
says
is
she's
dead.
yeah. Your mom died. Your wife left you.
Your
That's
wife
right.
But Dooley's going to get another line in here. We just get 2 lines from him, but Peggy, says she's here to get a new basketball. Peggy walks out of the office disappointed, and Dooley says, "Girls' sports are a joke." Classic 90s.
Biting commentary.
Late 90s joke. Yeah. And
I wouldn't even say late 90s joke. A lot of people make those jokes today as
boy,
well.
you're not
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think the
actually,
tide's
there's-
about to turn though
okay.
with old Caitlin Clark. I think she's the
Mhm.
changing the tide for the
When
WNBA.
the PWHL is
PWHL.
selling out arenas.
What the hell
the
is
new
that?
Professional women's hockey league.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yep. They
Huh.
have sold out they've sold out 6 separate NHL arenas.
Okay, so it's not like that whole women's football and lingerie thing. Is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No.
Okay,
Oh, it's
thank
not one of
God.
those.
Thank God.
Although would watch.
Well, it'd just be. I mean, you're talking about.
Well, I would not watch
getting
it.
people's
You know, I'll
attention.
say it that way. I would not watch it.
Yeah, it's cold in here. I can't help it.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Uh, so we cut back home, and Hank is excitedly talking to Peggy about making the sports team. And Hank says that he can rearrange his schedule to make all of Bobby's practices, which is like Hank's really excited for
But it-
Bobby to be on the
But
wrestling
that also
team.
means he's never tried before. You know, to make it to anything that Bobby had.
Bobby hasn't
Yes.
had anything
That's
to
right.
go
That's
to,
I
don't
guess
think.
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we see him playing baseball in the very first pilot episode, but
yeah.
that's like the last sport that we've seen him play up until
Well,
this sport.
you
Up
guys,
to that point,
you
yeah,
guys haven't
baseball's
gotten to
it.
the soccer episode yet, right?
No,
Okay. All right.
No. I'm not even aware of the
no
soccer.
spoilers. Don't spoil it
I
for
don't
the
know
nephews.
anything about this show.
It's not a sport
Uh,
anyway, officially, according to Hank Hill.
What the?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do they play soccer in
And according
Canada?
to us.
Do they play soccer in Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it's not as popular as some other sports.
Sure.
Do they call it
Like
football
curling
also?
like
Yeah,
curling.
it's generally
Yeah,
a
like
frozen
curling.
rock. They're kicking
Is
around.
curling's like
Yeah.
super? Is it? And I'm sorry. Is curling like? Is it very popular?
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
My there was a curling club like in my neighborhood. We would go like semi frequently, and we would go. Our school had a team. and
Really?
we would go. Like,
Wow.
as a
Can you
school.
make a career out of curling? Could you become a millionaire from curling? Is there like a professional curling league?
Thousand.
You could do a
You could do a
Thousand
thousand
there.
Canadian.
$50,000 a
million
year to
Canadian,
curl.
so
I'll do
around
it.
like 15 grand.
Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, with the exchange rate, it could be $1 million.
I'll push
Canadian.
the broom.
Yeah.
I'll be the broom pusher.
Yeah. The
Do they
skip.
call? Do they
The
call
skip.
people who
That's what they're
curl
called. The skip.
girlies?
I just call him
Well,
the
the
broom
skip
guy.
is like the guy who's like kind of anchoring.
So it's like skipper,
You know.
right?
Yeah, he's
Is
the guy
that-
that's
what that's for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him doing it.
Well,
like
yeah,
it's
those are
fun to
the-
watch. I don't know what's
those are
going
the
on, but it's
keepers.
exciting.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our curling pod, guys.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll have you guys up to
Move
Portland. We'll go
that
curling.
puck.
to curl. Peggy is going to ask Hank, what if Bobby was a girl? To which Hank replies, well, that's just the thing. I don't think we have to worry about that anymore,
That's solid information.
which was a very, very funny line.
Yeah, and Peggy also brings up that she's like trying to get some budget for the
Mhm.
girls' gym, and the budget is going to put holograms on the football tickets instead. And Hank is very obviously pro hologram.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of sick people out there,
That's right.
he says, that
Yeah.
are going to counterfeit tickets
Counterfeit
to Tom Landry
high
Middle School.
football.
And this is another one of those great excuses for why there's no funding from Principal Moss, which is kind of his like joke all the time. In the Halloween episode, he said, there's no budget because we lost it fighting wheelchair ramps and left-handed scissors. And now it's to put holograms on tickets. So like that's kind of his thing, is there's no
Fighting.
funds because they've spent it on some ridiculous shit.
Fighting, with
Which is
their
true.
rings.
I imagine that happens fairly often inside of school.
Oh, as somebody who's been in education, I can tell you that happens all the time. That is not a joke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we hate wheelchair ramps.
No, they
And
hate
left-handed
wheelchairs.
Left-handed people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna get a unique Peggy flashback here to Peggy wanting to join the baseball team. She walks up to the plate and absolutely goes yard. Rushes a big home run here in this flashback, and the coach is like, "Can you run as well as you can hit?" And she's like, "Yes, sir, I can." And he's like, "Well, run to the store and get us some soda pop."
Yeah, awful. That's
Jeez.
awful. She's hitting
Yeah.
the ball better. She's catching it better. She throws harder. But since she's a woman, she could go ahead and go make some sandwiches and get us some sodas. Yeah, that's so
Yes.
funny.
Yeah, that's that 90s level misogyny, sports related misogyny, just 90s misogyny in general. But
Yeah, you can't talk about the 90s without a little bit of misogyny.
Thank
you know,
God we
dust
fixed
in
that.
there.
Mhm.
Yeah, we solved
Yes.
it all.
I actually think All Right Already has an episode.
Yeah.
of
That's
Bobby
exactly
Slam.
right. You got it.
probably right. Yeah.
You got it.
Again with the Title IX.
Oh, man.
Ooh, that's right. Yeah.
Discovering
Yes.
sexism.
Hank, after we come out of this flashback, Hank, all he has to say is, well, boys love sody pop. Very funny, but
Super supportive from my guy Hank.
Hank is going to walk in and pass down a cherished family heirloom to Bobby. He's going to pass down this steel cup. He says it was mine, and before that, it was your grandfather's. Bobby really gets Hank on this, and he's like, Dad, there's holes in it. How am I supposed to drink out of this?
Ooh.
And
Whoa.
Hank immediately bites on it and just, starts to explain to Bobby what it's for. And Bobby says, gotcha.
Gotcha.
And then just proceeds to stuff it into his tidy whities. I
Yeah.
love that Bobby was just standing in front of the
He's
mirror.
flexing in the mirror. Yeah.
I love that it's a hand-me-down.
Yeah, I think that's funny.
Yeah.
Your dad's
This was
balls
a
have
very
sweated
funny
in
scene.
it, and now your balls will sweat too.
Your grandpa's balls. Yeah.
And someday your son's
Mhm.
balls.
Did any of you guys wrestle
No.
at all?
No, we didn't have
No.
wrestling.
No?
Wrestling wasn't really big down here.
There's no
Yeah,
wrestling.
there's
in
no
Texas.
wrestling.
Yeah, we don't allow it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
no
there
wrestling
is,
in
but
Texas at all.
we're
Mhm.
not
Somewhere.
If
Oh,
you're in like the
really?
Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, like major cities, I'm sure have wrestling, but we're too. I went to like a school. I graduated with like 200 people, so when
My
they're big
graduating
school.
out
class had like 50, I think.
Football is king. If they can't afford other
Yeah.
sports, football is going to be the only sport that's available.
The class I
Okay.
was the class I was supposed to graduate in had 36.
36.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty small.
Interesting.
We also-
supposed to graduate in.
Well,
That's
we al-
coming up soon, right?
Well, I got kicked out twice, but we also we had it was a Christian school, right? And so we
Oh.
put out the
Can't have boys touching boys.
Sure. We put out the yearbook, and you had a Mr. and Mrs. whatever the name of the school was. They had to recall the yearbook because the Mrs. got pregnant.
Oh no.
That is not a joke.
My.
That is actually what happened.
Dang, that's crazy.
So, like, is there a
Redacted.
contraband yearbook around from that?
There's
year
gotta
we
be,
could-
yeah.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a redacted yearbook somewhere.
Yeah.
It just says redacted with her picture covered. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
tore
nephews,
well
if-
they literally tore those 2 pages out and then handed them back to people.
That's
And
crazy.
they replaced it with a birth announcement.
No, they replaced it with a virgin birth announcement.
Yeah, advertisement for formula. Yeah.
Jesus, number 2.
It was
Coming soon.
immaculate.
This time it's
Said-
personal.
yeah.
Yeah. Wrestling was a big deal. I wrestled for 2 years. I wrestled 7th and 8th grade in
Wow.
middle
Oh,
school.
Chris Lore alert.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
But
Chris
wrestling's a
wrestled?
pretty big deal for my family history. My dad
Did he
wrestled
pass
in
down
high
his
school.
jock to you?
No.
No, but his mom did.
It
It was
wouldn't-
great.
Yes. Nice.
Sorry.
No, that was good. That was very nice.
It was available. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Just like
no,
your
he wrestled
mom.
in,
Yeah.
He wrestled in college. My grandpa wrestled
Really?
in college. Yeah, both of my brothers did some wrestling.
Wow.
So, yeah, I didn't wrestle past 8th. I didn't wrestle in high school, but I wrestled 2 years in middle school.
How does the family
Wow.
cup smell?
Better than you'd think.
So
Yeah, I think my younger brother has it now.
that
I'll have
is
to
one of
track
those
it down.
things that like he was talking about in Texas. I mean, we didn't really have wrestling. We certainly didn't have
Mhm.
curling and things like that. You
No.
know, it's just
Football
it's so
is
foreign
king.
to us. Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
football.
They used to like
Mhm.
take away like art programs just
Yep.
so they could fund
Just to
football.
keep football.
Yeah,
You
so
got
there
it.
was one point where we were like real bad with football, like terrible, and the next year they cut choir
Yeah.
and they cut like 3 art classes. And
If you can't hit
put
somebody, you
all
can't
that
sing.
money back into the football program, which it did pay off. They've got like 4 state championships, like appearances, and like 2 wins since I graduated high school, which has been 15 years. But it's still cool that all that
Impressive.
cutting art actually paid off. They got a natty,
it
man.
here
They got a little
first.
natty, yeah.
Listeners,
Cut the arts, folks. Cut them
the
out.
arts and win.
Nobody
Cut
needs
them
it.
out.
Yeah, who needs
Um,
crayons?
Yeah, exactly. Wrestling's pretty big in Oklahoma, though. That's a
Okay.
huge thing.
Really?
A lot of,
Has it-
lot of
has-
wrestling.
Big
It's been that way
thing,
most of your
yeah.
life.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
that's historically one of.
amazing.
Is there a
Oklahoma's
lot of
five-
men-on-men activities in Oklahoma? I hear
Oh.
that's a common
Yeah,
thing.
Yes.
bragging. Come on.
Yeah,
Go in
but
deeper.
Let's take-
only on the mat. Only
And
on the mat.
So let me
And
ask
we'll
you
be
this.
right back with a word from Charmin.
Yeah, since you're an Oklahoman, what happens in the little panhandle area of Oklahoma?
wrestling.
Wrestling.
Panhandle
They're just out there in the middle of the hills, out
Lots
there
of
just
wrestling.
wrestling.
They're two different things, wrestling and wrestling. You have to understand.
Oh, okay.
That's very true.
Yeah, wrestling's on the mat, wrestling's on a bed.
That's the
Oh my God, it's
That's-
so juicy.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a
that's
pat-
the one my youth pastor told me about.
Yeah. I did not get a cup passed down to me, but I did get that shitty wrestling joke passed
There you
down to
go.
me.
There you go.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
so Connie is going to approach Bobby after gym here, asking oh no, it's in gym, not at the end of school yet. Connie ball rolls over, hits Bobby, just asking how wrestling is going. Bobby's pretty into it. He says, you got it, we lock it. Bobby's like, here, I'll show you some moves. And Bobby's like, this is impossible to get out of. And Connie just slips right out of it. And Bobby is like frazzled by this. And he's like, well, you didn't use real wrestling. Like if you use real wrestling, it's impossible. It's impossible to get out of here.
It's like those self-defense classes when they tell you to like pretend to stab me or something, but you didn't stab me.
Oh,
right.
that guy from
Yeah.
Detroit. Yeah, the guy from Detroit with the weird like slapping your wrist when you put
Yeah.
a pistol to your
Oh, yeah.
face. That guy.
That
Yeah,
guy's a legend.
yeah, he is. Don't try
so
catching him in an
last 4
alley. He'll whoop
times.
your ass.
Virtually.
We get our first taste of Connie. Connie here slips out. It's a very, very fun scene, but we end this scene. Oh wait, yeah, let's see here. Peggy is going to get into a fight with the wrestling coach and the athletic director about funding here. They're going to have some funny lines about, well, Doug can back me up on this and Doug can back me up on that. But it ends with the girls being marched out of the gym. I think the wrestling coach wants the entire gym. Peggy tries to say, no, I need the gym too. And all the girls get kicked out. Connie suggests that maybe she should do yearbook. And this really sets Peggy off. She calls yearbook a squalid waste of time.
Shameful, squalid waste of time.
And, it could be a shameful class if I guess you have to rip pages out. And
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Redactor.
Issue redaction.
that's good journalism, folks.
When
Teach
I
those kids that.
my junior year, I was on the whatever you call it, yearbook squad, yearbook team, yearbook staff, whatever. That was the worst class. I mean, there was nothing really to do. You come in like halfway through the year and you get into something like that. Everybody's got everything covered and nobody wants you there.
Yep.
So
Would you call it a shameful, squalid waste of time?
it was a shameful, squalid waste of my time. Yes. I don't know about
Yes.
everybody else's, but mine, certainly.
It's a nice distinction.
Yeah.
Before we go to commercial break here, we get a final parting shot of Bobby getting punched in the cup, which is a very definitely a thing 12-year-old boys would do. Be like,
Yes,
yeah, this
anyone
is
who has ever
Absolutely.
put on a cup has had someone either kick or punch them.
Yep.
well, it's
Nut
like what
tap.
you do with tongs. You have to do a knock whenever you put it on, just to
Yeah, you
make
got to
sure.
test it out. Else
But yeah.
you know it's gonna work.
That's right.
Bobby gets punched, and then we go to break.
Wow. I
We
thought
cut
we were
back
really
to-
going to break there for a second. There was such a pregnant pause there. I thought we were really going to break.
No, we don't get
Uh,
ads on this show.
Not
Well,
yet. We take
good for you.
we take a deep breath. Yeah, not yet.
Just
Um,
recenter.
Just
mhm.
a little bit of self-reflection.
Sure.
Really
We
think
come.
about what we've
I
done.
am worth it.
No. I don't know about that.
The coach tells everybody to hit the showers. He says no Oklahoma car washes. Actually, get your hair wet, which is kind
Oh.
of funny.
Yeah, but
Is that a
um,
thing?
That is
that
fun.
an
I've never heard
actual
of an
thing?
Oklahoma car wash before. I've heard of Hollywood showers. Don't take a Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of all the same. They all mean the same thing. It's a sink shower. He says, yeah. Don't.
so it's like a
don't
horse
phone in.
bath. Is that what it is? Is it the same
Yeah,
as
like a
thing?
horse
It's
bath.
bath.
Yeah, I was
A
waiting for
horse
you guys
bath
to
or
say
a
it.
horse
A
bath?
well, either, but it's just larger sponge. But yeah, a horse bath. Yeah, is what I was always told by my grandfather. Now I don't know who he was hanging out
Yeah.
with earlier in his life, but yeah, horse bath.
Well, they're going to politely call it an Oklahoma car wash.
That's very nice.
I
Yeah.
don't- I don't think you could say horse bath in the 90s.
Probably
on TV.
not. Probably
Yeah,
not.
maybe not.
Lady of ill reputes washing time.
A sex worker's sink
Sex workers sink
sauna.
spa.
A
Yes.
glory hole.
Oh
Um,
no, that's a whole different thing.
Whole
Um,
different thing.
Whole thing.
Oh my gosh. Peggy is going to be arguing with the wrestling coach in his office because Connie wants to wrestle. Peggy is going to quote, she's going to say Title IX. The gym coach is going to fire back and say, well, Roe v. Wade doesn't apply to my wrestling team.
Whoa.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a
out
good
Roe
one.
v.
Doesn't apply to
Wade.
much
90s.
anything anymore, does it?
It does not.
That tells you
Oh.
exactly how in tune this guy is. He thinks Title IX and Roe v. Wade are the same thing. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yes. Yeah, that's a lot of the humor there is that he thinks Title IX and Roe v. Wade are the same. And then also I did underline that's pertinent here in 2004.
Well, also,
which doesn't
2004.
2004. Yeah, that's where we're at.
2024. That's where we are. Yeah. We're 2004.
Across the highway here, we have Baylor University, which
Mhm.
they're not worried about Title IX either.
No, of course not.
Well, yeah.
That one takes that takes a little research. Topical.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put up an article on.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Baylor, famously non-scandalous school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great,
So
great place to learn, kids. Come on.
we cut
on
over
down.
to Peggy is having a sit-down discussion with the Supernussenpones and drinking Zinfandel.
Oh,
is fun.
Zinfandel.
Oh,
Okay.
what a
Yeah.
day.
Yes. The Supernussenpones are worried. Connie makes the point that wrestling could set her apart on her college applications, and she says, "Dad, on my last resume, you said I lacked real world experience," which is a very funny criticism for a father to have of his 12-year-old daughter's practice college application.
Yeah, I bet she's been writing it for 8 years.
Mhm.
I always thought that was hilarious. That whole play up of the Asian culture of dads and moms forcing their kids to be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Min is going to say Con Jr. plays violin and she sculpts with metal and she speaks 3 languages. What
Sculpts
sets
with
her
metal.
apart?
What sets her apart? Yeah.
Sculpts with metal is the one for me right there. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It was very funny. And then it's
I just love that Con thought that just being smart in Texas would be
yes,
so funny.
classic Con, absolutely throwing Texas under the bus.
Pretty
I love
close to
him.
the target there.
Yes. So the Supernussenpones are going to visit the school and really put their foot down to try to get Connie into the wrestling program. The wrestling coach is finally going to make the connection that Peggy is Bobby's mom in the office here.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, so you're Bobby's mom?" And Con roasts the wrestling coach and says "Very good. You followed the trail of clues that start with the last name." Con absolutely spitting flames.
I do
principal-
love that Hank. He says that it's all well and good to support women's rights unless it takes a spot away from a man.
Mhm.
That was probably the funnest line from Hank.
Yes. Yeah. Hank.
There are
on
times
his-
like
on
that.
his shit.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but there are
No, go for it.
times when Hank does come across as very stereotypical Texan older white guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I always feel like he redeems himself by the end of the show. And whatever
Yeah.
he says is something that's been ingrained in him. We also have to remember that Cotton is his father. So
Mhm.
he has gotten
Yeah.
as far away as he possibly can. But as a son of a man a lot like Cotton, I can tell you it is tough to start separating yourself from that stuff.
Yeah. It's
Oh, yeah.
ingrained for sure.
Yes, for
And
sure.
Hank
My
does do a good job of opening up.
He does.
Yeah. It took Mike
In
20
some
years to
episodes.
erase the N word from his vernacular. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
Oh, it was a Nissan. I was driving a Nissan. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
you can't say that.
Nissan?
Nissan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Nissan.
bleep that every.
That'd be great.
No.
I was driving a boop. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, my granddad is definitely very much was very much Cotton Hill, and
Sure.
maybe the nephews have heard about us talk about it in Shins of the Father. Maybe they haven't.
Yeah, that
Uh,
episode we don't need to talk about.
Yeah, it's actually not really. It's actually not released.
Good.
But
We're in a legal battle with Fergie.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
the
not the one
Principal
you
Mosk.
think, though.
Yeah,
yeah, it's actually just a guy with the last name of Ferguson. Everyone
Fergie.
calls him Fergie.
yeah.
The principal Moss can't pronounce Supernussenpone, which is very funny.
That was very good.
Khan is going to leave the office with a zinger of talking about how if you don't let Connie wrestle, I'll show you. You know, I'll put the Sue in Supanus and Pone. So Khan threatens.
I like that
Damn, that's a
wordplay.
good comment.
Khan threatens to sue, which works very well with Principal Moss. He's very afraid of lawsuits. It's kind of part of his shtick.
Yeah, the whole wheelchair ramp thing.
Yeah, the
Fighting.
coach here has a funny thing. He says Title IX was Dick Nixon's biggest mistake.
You know, it wasn't the war on drugs.
That was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't the quitting and the whole thing. You know, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was Reagan anyway, not Nixon. Never mind.
Yeah,
Two guys, two different guys.
I thought they were the same person, just in a different
might as
skin
well.
suit.
Might as well be.
Yeah, it all blends together.
You know, Vietnam, all that stuff. Yeah, but Title IX was
Vietnam,
Dick Nixon's
cocaine in the
biggest
80s, all
mistake.
the same.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
So yeah, Bobby is upset because he's now going to have to fight for his spot, and Hank delivers us that gem of a line that all is well and good until a man loses his job, and Bobby follows it up and says, "Yeah, it's worse when they take away our favors because we're used to getting them."
That's it.
That's a
Yeah,
little
that's
on
funny.
the nose,
That
but
white
really
privilege,
fun.
yeah.
Yes, I was going to say those two lines really encapsulate white male privilege. And if you know any white males who are really upset about the changing times, those two lines pretty much just described it.
Well, it also
Yeah, for
shows
sure.
that Hank could pass that down to his son if he's not real careful. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that whole thing that came from Cotton to him could also go to Bobby, and see that's the
Yeah.
thing you
Well-
fear as a son of somebody who is like that.
Well, in doing
Yeah.
all this King of the Hill podcast, that's one of the things that we've noticed from a lot of the people that reach out is you got like 50% of them are all inclusive.
Yeah.
Black, white, Hispanic, gay, trans, whatever, like huge variety of audience. But the other 50% is people who would think that he would vote for Donald Trump, like Hank Hill is going to vote for Donald Trump and
Yeah.
be a part of the MAGA atmosphere and stuff like that. That's the one thing I don't really like about the divided audience is like half of it is like super inclusive, loves the show for what it really is. And then you have these guys who have like this red wash like perception
Well, I
of what
think-
King of the Hill is.
Yeah.
I think right now
They
that's
don't really
just where.
get the joke.
Well, again, I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
where our
it's
country and the
a little
world
right
are
over the
right
head.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much encapsulates
Yeah.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, it kinda sucks.
down with Hollywood, but we like King of the Hill because they're on our side,
Yeah.
not knowing that all the writers
It's
are all
ridiculous.
liberal writers and stuff like that, or all
Yeah,
went to
they're
liberal
kinda
art
making
schools and stuff
fun
like that.
of-
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The joke is lost on some folks, certainly. But if you get the jokes, welcome to our show.
Welcome.
So Bill has some really funny lines here in the alleyway. Bill's going to say that he's all for women wrestling, except in pudding, because that's demeaning to people who make pudding.
I agree with
He had
that.
demeaning to the
actually.
pudding makers.
Yes.
That's good
Uh,
stuff.
Which is a very funny line from Bill. I loved Bill here in the middle of the episode. Dale is going to chime in and say that, the number one priority on the Feminite agenda after their
Feminite.
meeting in Beijing is, Feminite agenda. The number one priority is co-ed bathrooms.
It's so interesting to me how
Mhm.
often Dale says stuff, and it's just something that you would hear someone
Mhm.
say in 2024.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's a lot of
all
that
the same
stuff. That's a lot of that stuff.
Absolutely.
I actually
We
prefer
also-
like unisex bathrooms because you don't have to wait for the bathroom. It's like
Yeah.
there's a bathroom open. There's no men or women's. It's just either
Mhm.
or in each bathroom. You know.
I'm going to blow up
And you
this
don't have to
Starbucks
share it.
regardless.
Yeah, I'm tearing it up.
Yeah.
We're in a.
Sorry.
We're in a,
We learned that Dale doesn't have co-ed bathrooms in his
In
own
his house. That's the punchline, yes, is that they will not be instituting co-ed bathrooms in the house.
The building that we are in is 110 years old, and it is 22 floors. And the way it works
Flex.
is, yeah, well, it's fixing to not be. Well, the way it works is floor 22 men's, floor 21 men's, floor 20 women's. It's like two men's bathrooms
staggered.
to every woman's bathroom in this building.
and they're all on different floors.
They are. We literally have to tell women to go down one floor if they want to use the bathroom.
Oh,
It's
God.
insanity.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well,
We're
That's
trying
nuts.
to get the rest of the floor. If we get the rest of the floor, then all our bathrooms become co-ed bathrooms.
Wow. We'll have
Um,
to check back in on that.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, we'll do
please
an
give us an
update.
update.
check back in like
Um,
6 months.
That's some hot news I just gave you.
So there's a really kind of a fucked up joke here that happens before the break. Did anybody look into this last punchline? Peggy
Is it
and
where Hank calls Earl Warren a woman?
yes. So Peggy asks the question to Hank: did a woman ruin the Supreme Court? Hank says yes, and her name was Earl Warren. Do you guys know who Earl Warren is?
I know the name. I know the
Supreme
name
Court
is the
Justice.
Supreme Court
Yes.
Justice. Yeah.
He was the Chief Justice. Primarily, he was the Chief Justice that was responsible for the unanimous Supreme Court decision in Brown versus the Board of Education.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
So Earl Warren is responsible for the ruling that desegregated the schools, and Hank thinks that he ruined the Supreme Court.
But see, that's a cotton thing. That's a
a
cotton.
fucked
cotton
up.
thing,
Yeah.
or a very Texas thing, because
That's true,
states'
too.
rights
Mhm.
is a
True, too.
huge thing in Texas. So I think
Yeah.
I think it more goes back
Not so
to
much.
like
It's just Texas rights.
states,
But yeah.
like
Sure.
Texas rights. Yeah, we don't even consider ourselves a state most of
No.
the time. When people say where are
Yeah.
you from that are like international, I don't say I'm from the United States. I say I'm from Texas. You know what I mean?
We're still trying to secede for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how's that going?
Oh, it's going great.
Going
Yeah,
great.
thanks for asking. It's going great.
Uh-huh.
We got shirts. That's about it so far.
Yeah, we'll have to check back in on
Well, that's
that
where
one,
you
too.
start. You start first with the shirt.
Hey, it's all about
Yeah,
the merch.
We've got
man.
shirts, and we're in
It
the
is all
process
about
of
the
forming
merch.
committees. We've got committees that we're forming.
Committees are
Yeah.
forming. Yeah, but interesting joke there at the end before we cut to our second commercial break there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now we pause for reflection.
Mm-hmm. Pausing for reflection.
I wish I was taller.
I need to get a
Um,
mirror in this
moving
room.
We come back to, and Peggy and Min are talking, and Peggy is very conflicted because now, Bobby has to compete for his spot against Connie.
Yeah.
And Min is there, and Peggy's like, who do I choose? Connie or Bobby? And Min is just like, choose Connie. Choose Connie. Choose Connie. I just thought it was so fun. Min was like,
Yeah.
choose Connie.
Well, because she's got that dilemma she's got to face now. Is it's like, do I pick Connie because Connie is a woman and I want to empower women, or do I pick my son because it's my son?
Mm-hmm.
Nepotism or feminism? The
Yeah, there you go.
old dilemma. Yeah.
Peggy, yeah, really gets pulled in two directions here, but they've decided that if Connie's going to do this, she's got to get prepared, and Min has got a wrestling book, and Luann is going to help. So we have a
Much
little
to
scene
Bill's
of
delight.
yes, we have a scene of Min and Luann wrestling as Bill is watching, and I watch with subtitles on. So I can see where they're, putting in the sound effects.
Yeah.
And he's smacking his lips and watching Min and
Yeah.
Luann wrestling,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. And then we turn around and he's eating pudding.
I didn't catch that.
You didn't catch that? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
You know,
That's
there-
this.
There are so
It
many
says
times
smacking lips and he's eating pudding.
There are so many times when Bill is such a friggin' creep. I mean, he really
Yeah.
can be the creepiest guy on the thing, and it does make you feel like these other three guys, Dale included, are the only thing keeping him from turning into a full-fledged creep.
Yeah, I'm really hoping.
Yes.
I'm hoping for a Luann OnlyFans episode in the new series
Mhm.
where it's just her doing the manger babies, not nothing sexual. It's just her
Yeah.
doing manger babies on OnlyFans.
But the puppets,
Oh, and getting caught up in it.
Yeah, getting caught up in it, kind of thing.
the puppets are on her feet.
because she's
That'd be
innocent
funny.
most of the time. She has that
Yeah.
naive innocence about her sometimes,
Mhm.
and I think that would make for the great episode.
Well, they kind of do that episode in the episode about Peggy's feet.
Yeah,
Spoiler
they do.
alerts.
They do kind of touch on
Mhm.
that for sure. Yeah,
I
Mhm.
can't wait for that episode.
those big
Yes.
skis, them big ski boats.
Yes. So yeah, very funny scene of Bill eating pudding and watching Min and Luann wrestling.
Well, see, if you're
Um,
eating it, it's not near as degrading to the pudding people.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
being
wrestling
respectful.
in it is
Right.
Is
That's
out
the
of the
meaning.
question.
Yeah,
taboo.
respectfully.
Hank is doing a drill with Bobby, a quote unquote drill, where he has covered Bobby in a piece of carpet and he has wet the carpet down to make it heavy. And he tells Bobby the key to wrestling is explosive energy. And he's trying to get
You
Bobby
have to explode.
to
out of the
explode,
carpet.
explode, boy.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, that I have heard stories of that actually happening, like in football
Mhm.
practice here in Texas.
Yep.
That is, and
Having
I would
someone in a
imagine
wet
Oklahoma's
carpet?
same thing. Same
was-
kind of approach. Also in the Army.
It was
Wow.
something we heard, but I never saw anything
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I never
No,
saw
I don't think I
that.
ever saw it either, but you would hear these horror stories of that kind of stuff.
The old
you know?
Oklahoma drill for sure.
Run
that
in a-
was
Well,
Run-
that's yeah.
What the hell's the Oklahoma drill?
It's where they lay on the
It's a football
ground,
drill.
and then the coach
Thanks.
blows the whistle, and they jump up and they run as fast as they can at each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's to show who. It's pretty much to show who's the fastest off the line and who's the strongest off the line.
And who can get
Yeah.
a concussion?
It's
the
brutal.
fastest.
Yeah, they don't do it
Mhm.
anymore. I'm pretty sure that's an
For that
outlawed
reason,
activity.
yeah.
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 I
There's
think I
probably
won.
court precedents for that. Yeah.
I do love that Bobby says, "I'm danged here. I'm royally.
I'm
danged."
royally danged.
I'm
royally
rolling
danged
dang.
here.
Yeah.
We cut to Connie getting kind of picked on in the cafeteria for
Yeah.
being the the girl wrestler. The other
Yeah,
bully.
what's the name of this kid with
I
the like
the
tiny
blonde hair?
ponytail and the sides of his head shaved? and
That
the
is-
What
lips?
is his name? Do you
That-
guys know?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
this is
I know
our
his
first
name.
That's what we brought you
introduction
here
of
for.
him.
He's always
I
he,
think
he
we-
always kind of shows up and Dooley shows up and he goes, I love her. I love
Yeah.
her tender tots. Yeah.
Hold on just a second. I have his name.
high.
It's really high up.
Hi, Connie.
Oh yeah, that's Clark
Um,
Peters. Sorry,
Clark
Peters.
Peters. There
Clark
it is.
I knew it was with a
Peters.
C.
I think this
C,
is
yeah, Clark Peters.
our first
Is it?
time meeting him.
Oh. Well, congratulations.
Connie is talking to Khan and talking about how she wants to quit, and Khan is like not allowing her to quit. He's like, Khan, Junior, I went out on a big limb for you, and he says, if you lose, you're no longer my son.
That's a good joke too.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tragic line from Khan.
So
He's
good.
really letting it slip out
Yeah.
that Khan wanted a son. We cut to one of my favorite scenes here at the end of the episode. Peggy is getting her frustrations out at the batting cage. She's got a pile of Alamo beers at her feet, and she's just yelling at the world and yelling at the coach who wouldn't let her join.
She's absolutely wasted, I think.
She is wasted. She's yelling at Luann to get her more tokens.
She is a strong ass woman. I'm just telling you that.
She really is.
And think about her center of gravity with those giant feet.
Oh man,
You
she
know?
could do the whole she could do the
Power.
the Michael Jackson
Oh,
lean
yeah.
forward, and
Yeah.
Oh my
touch the
God,
ground.
yeah.
Yeah, she's got
There
There
feet
was an
like
episode
Krusty the
recently
Clown.
where they thought that there was an intruder in the house, and Peggy
Mhm.
just flips a chair over and snaps a leg
right.
off. Of
That's
it.
right.
Like, it's
Oh yeah,
Gets it,
she's
yeah.
she's unfuckwittable for sure. I wouldn't mess with Peggy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's
Oh,
stout.
yeah.
Like he doesn't have to worry about Peggy like getting mugged at the grocery store because she would she's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
whoop
got
the mugger's
protection.
ass.
Well,
yeah.
you got to think
He's
that
got
that's
that fang on it.
well, you got to think that's a little bit of a turn on for him. Because I mean,
Do you think that he's a power bottom? Is that
Well,
what you're saying? That Hank's a
This
power
has
bottom?
come up quite a few times. We
Peggy?
posit that Hank might have a foot fetish.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think he has a foot
Yes.
fetish, but I think he also has a whatever you call that hairdo.
domination.
Well, he has that hairdo fetish. The mom in the '90s. Big.
I think-
like single
yeah.
white lady afro
I don't know.
mom kind of
Oh,
thing.
yes.
I think he likes men, so
Yeah.
Peggy's the closest
Lots
thing
of-
he can get to being with
lots
a man.
of hairspray, that kind of thing. I think he loves that.
There's a lot of theories out there about Hank's sexuality.
I
Um,
don't think that. I think the closest Hank ever gets to questioning his sexuality would be in some of that homoerotic, football and stuff like that he did. But
Mhm.
but other than that, I don't
Well,
think
and
it.
the Willie Nelson drink.
Wrestling.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Mhm.
I doubt it. I probably very rarely crosses his mind. But I would imagine a shower is immediately afterwards. Anytime it does.
Ooh,
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta clean your brain.
yeah.
Clean your brain.
That's
Yes.
if you can take
The,
one thing away from this, kids, clean your brain.
clean your brains out.
Yes, listen up, nephews.
Once you're done listening to this podcast, go take a shower.
Go
Clean
take a
your
shower.
brain.
I think we're
And-
all going to need
and
to
hey,
take a shower.
No, don't Oklahoma car wash your brain.
No.
either. Really scrub
yeah,
it.
don't do that.
Really scrub it.
Really good.
Luann is gonna pull Peggy out of the car. I just like that Luann is hanging out with Peggy when she's going through it.
Yeah.
She's
but
a real
Peg-
one. We love
She really
Luann.
is. Luann is pulling Peggy into the house, and a light goes on in Bobby's room, and she goes, "I'm sorry, Jeffrey." And Luann's like,
I love that.
Luann's
line.
like, that's Bobby, and Peggy was like, "I wanted to call him Jeffrey, but some man wouldn't let me."
I love that. That is one of my all-time favorite jokes from Peggy. Just the fact that
Mhm.
she has to be flat-ass drunk to admit the fact that she was going to name her kid something else.
Yeah.
And some man wouldn't
That's
let
his
her.
middle name too, right?
I don't know. Maybe.
Bobby Jeffrey.
Yeah, Bobby
Hill?
I believe
Jeffrey.
I read
That's his middle
that
name.
while
I think
was-
that's his middle
yeah.
name. Yeah.
So his name is BJ.
Oh,
So she
interesting.
got the middle name.
His initials
Wow.
are BJ.
BJ Hill.
Hey, mine too.
I was
Ah,
gonna
there you
say,
go.
It's yours.
Yep. I'm
We-
a BJ
Whoa.
myself.
So your middle
Big
name
one.
starts with a J? The big one.
I'm a BJ, I said.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's John.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. I was a little worried that I was being yelled at there for a second. I didn't.
No, no.
Oh, no. I just
The
had
light-
to clarify that
I
I'm a
get it.
BJ.
Sure. That's never come
The,
up before today, though, right?
No, every episode.
Never was a problem in school or anything like that.
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
sure.
I
just
didn't get bullied.
just slid right through. No problem.
Yep.
The light goes on in Bobby's room because he's up at night and really he's worried about the tryouts tomorrow. But he gets an idea after he gets out of bed and he kicks the video game cover for the wrestling video game. The name of the video game is Sergeant Gorgeous. I don't know if you saw that.
Gorgeous.
I like that. That sounds
Um,
like a riveting game.
Yes, it's
Good
very
band
funny.
name, too.
It's very funny how
That's
guys
true.
will say that they hate drag and then be so into
Uh-huh.
wrestling,
Uh-huh.
which is drag for men. But Bobby gets an idea, and we get a cut shot of him looking at the video game and then looking at Connie through her window. Connie is obviously also very worried about this. She's got her heads down, so it looks like they hatch a little idea. But
Get a plot going.
yeah, it's the next day over at the tryouts. The coach is like, sorry, your mom couldn't make it, here to see you. And Bobby's like, my mom couldn't come because she had to sleep in.
It's good
She's
stuff.
hungover.
She's hungover. She had to sleep in.
Hey guys, I'm gonna. This is an edit point for you.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that our iPad is sitting here at 1%. We may go down
Okay.
here in a second.
Yeah, we've got
If-
it plugged in, so
if-
it might stay along with
yeah,
us.
if
but
we
for some reason,
do-
it's not charging upwards.
If we do, we'll get you back on the phone here in just a second. Okay.
Cool.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
We'll,
We're right at-
we'll-
we're-
we'll
Yeah, I
power
got you.
through.
I got you.
We're close to the end here too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at the tryouts and it starts, suspenseful music is playing. We see Bobby and Connie kind of lock up. Everyone's cheering them on. The Supernussenpones have the camera going. And then we see all of a sudden Bobby just picks Connie up over his head and
I love this.
absolutely hits her with a knee drop.
Yeah, they start
When
doing
I
that
saw this, I
K-pop
thought that it
wrestling. They start
was-
doing the WWE style stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that this was just like a tactic that Bobby was going for and that he actually like seriously injured Connie at
Mhm.
first. And then I was like, oh no, they're doing
He
it.
pulled in real
Yeah.
They're
wrestling.
doing a thing.
Yeah, that was one of the jokes the whole episode is, real wrestling versus
Yep.
fake wrestling or
Yep.
what's fake versus real. And, all wrestling is real.
It's true.
But yeah, they kind of go into
Your
this,
mouth
this
to
kind
God's
of
ear.
choreographed. We get a funny line from Connie as she gets thrown to the side, and we see this through Khan's video camera.
Yeah,
Con-
recording for the Harvard application.
Mhm. Connie says, "I want to go to a party school. Yeah, Chico State."
I love how she
Which
has
I
her
thought-
character ready to go.
Yep.
She's like, "Yeah, this is
party girl.
part-
Yeah.
Peggy comes in late. She's hung over as hell with some big glasses on. And she's like, "What's happening?" She hears the cheering and she's like, "Oh, is that girl beating up my poor Jeffrey?" And Hank's like, "No, I think they found a way that they could both win this." And we get kind of a nice, cute wrap up there. But yeah, Peggy ends it. She's like, "That's our Jeffrey."
That's so good.
So yeah, they figure out a way at the end to make it work with real wrestling, not fake wrestling.
I love drunk ass hungover Peggy. That is just the best.
That's
Yeah.
I don't
hilarious.
think we've gotten a hungover Peggy yet.
Well, I mean, like she's
But it
not a
was
big
nice.
enough tool to begin with. Then you
Mhm.
you give her the hangover with the giant glasses and stuff. That's great.
Also, did she sleep through work? Because she's supposed to be the long.
Yeah, I guess
sub
she
here.
did.
True.
They had to call a
She
sub in for the
just
sub.
Didn't think
Yeah.
about that. Yeah. Poor
Yeah,
kids.
did she just
Education is
sleep
important,
through?
kids.
Yes. But that's the episode. Yeah.
That's
we
great.
did it.
Yeah, that was
job.
great.
We made it through, y'all.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we
did.
loved it.
Should we step immediately into the alley, Chris?
To the children's playground. Yes, the alley.
Let's-
The alley, yeah, the children's playground.
From the
I'm
school.
gonna buy you a drink.
This is, of course, the segment of the show where we take a step out back and we give this episode a rating because art deserves to be judged and given a score.
No, art deserves to be cut to send more funding to sports.
You got that right.
Exactly.
Yeah. We don't need art. What's a crayon? I have never seen a matte pencil before.
Of Alamo beers.
Okay.
So we give the
Sure.
episode, if you're down in one beer, it's a light night for you. If you're going all 6, you're going to miss work tomorrow like Peggy.
Yeah.
I will kick it off. I think I'm going to go, I'm going to give this one a solid 4.
Yep, that's where I'm at as well.
Yeah.
4
No, that's kind
Alamos
of
for this
coincidental because I was going with 4 myself. Not too many beers. Not kind of light buzz going.
4.25.
Keeping up. 3.25?
4.25. Yeah.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Yeah.
4 and a
Yeah, I'm
quarter.
going to go ahead with 4 1/4, and the quarter is for savings.
So you're cracking up a 4th and
For
kinda
later.
leaving it out.
Sure.
For later.
That's right.
It's a
No,
sipper, yeah. It's a sipping
yeah.
can,
So
not a drinking can.
I told you guys I got kicked out of high school twice. One of the reasons was because I used to keep a case in the back of my trunk. And I would,
Hell yeah.
this is at the Baptist school, and I would go across the street and just get
Hell yeah.
wasted at lunch on hot beer. So a quarter beer that's been left out, that's
Hot
not a
beer.
problem.
Cowboy cold, baby.
You got it.
I think I would have been willing to move this one up in score if it, I think, had more of the kind of like professional wrestling trope in
Yeah.
it throughout
Yeah.
the episode.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
see it at the
Yeah.
beginning and we see it at the end, but I kind of wish they would have teased it a little bit more.
Yeah, it would have been funny.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted
Had a lot of
like
good gags.
I wanted like Sergeant Gorgeous to give life experience relationship advice to Bobby. I think if there was
Mhm.
some way for him to actually talk to the wrestler, maybe he was in town or something like that, I think that
Yeah.
would have been fantastic.
Yeah,
Like
that was kind of my thing with the episode too, is we didn't get enough Bobby and
Yes.
Connie.
Yes.
Felt like it was
Mhm.
more Peggy than it was a Bobby and Connie.
as
episode.
a teenager,
Yeah.
I was able to get the Undertaker to body slam me one time. So
Whoa.
I know
what?
that it changed the way that I looked at the world.
That's
Real
dope.
learning
Where did
experience.
that happen?
It was at the Heart of Texas Coliseum in downtown Waco, Texas.
Sunday.
Sunday, Undertaker.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Was it like you get called?
It was a
up
fake
and,
one. You
like,
know what I
this
mean? I
happened
mean,
in
it was
front of
a
people?
child, so it was a fake one. But yeah, no, it was during the when you line up to go get an autograph, and then I asked
Yeah.
him to body slam me, and he did. I mean,
That's
asking
awesome.
you
That's
shall
cool.
receive. Yeah.
Wow.
Next time I go to a
asked
convention, I'm gonna be like,
Steve-O
"Hey,
to-
can you kick me in the nuts?"
Well, yeah, I was about to say I
a
asked
different
Steve-O to
convention.
kick me in the nuts, and he said he doesn't do that anymore. But he did show me his butthole.
Oh, there you go.
I actually have a Canadian buddy. You said Mankind. I actually have a Canadian buddy who does a podcast for men's mental health, and he actually had Mick Foley on his podcast
Oh, cool.
and interviewed
Oh, yeah.
him.
And coincidentally, you showed him. That's
Well, he
my
also
fault.
does a men's mental health podcast, but he is he's real big into wrestling, and he does a lot of like local wrestling promotions. So he kind of like
Nice.
through that he's kind of met
Yeah.
some famous wrestlers,
freelance
and stuff like
proctologist too.
that. Yeah,
hmm Yeah. We didn't really talk about the professional wrestling angle. Were you guys into professional wrestling, WWE, and all that
yeah,
jazz?
the Raw era, like through like
Mhm.
that NWO and the
Mhm.
Generation X and that whole like rated PG-13 era. Yeah, man,
Yep.
I loved it.
I was a big
Mhm.
Stone Cold fan. I thought that everyone
Of
should
course.
have their own entry theme like that.
Mhm.
Just in normal life.
I like
Like,
Stone
is
Cold
that
I
how-
too.
agree with that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Is that how
Imagine
you were drinking those beers in
That's-
high school?
Yeah,
You were
just slamming them,
slam them and then
pour 'em
walk
all over
into
your
the- yeah.
face.
pouring
yeah.
most of it on
No, I mean, just
yourself.
coming back to class wet as hell with hot beer.
Yeah. Well, there was different reasons I was wet, but yes, with the hot beer.
He was watching Titanic.
That's right. Gets me right in the feels every time.
Nice.
All right,
Nice. Heck yeah.
so it sounds like we're kind of all on the same page
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
far as ranking the episode.
Yep.
But we have one last thing to do here,
Uh-oh.
and that is crowning our Hill Kings of the episode.
Yeah.
We don't like to put any forethought into this. We generally like to decide in the minute. It could be whoever had the best joke delivery, whoever you thought had the most character development, or just whoever you thought stood out the
Yeah.
most in your mind?
I'm
Who
I've
is
got
the king of your hill?
I've
Chris, do you
got
wanna
mine
go
ready.
first?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah, I got mine ready too.
You kind of mentioned it earlier. It's when you said we don't get enough Connie and Bobby and that it's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
Peggy
Yeah.
episode. I'm taking Peggy.
Peggy.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
I'm taking Peggy. We get a flashback from her.
Yeah.
Which is nice. We get,
Yeah.
she's driving a lot of the action and conflict, and she's
She
really
is.
going to bat for these girls. She's really going to bat for Connie. And then we get to see her be drunk at the batting cages and
That was
hungover.
great.
So yeah, I think this is a Peggy episode. I think it's her episode, and she did really well with it.
I would say for
Peggy.
me it would be Connie because she fought so hard to do what she wanted to do, kind of thing. She was like, she wasn't taking no for an answer. She's like, I want to wrestle. I don't want to do gymnastics or none of this. I want to wrestle. And then following through with it or whatever and getting to do what she wanted. And then kind of shitting on everybody at the end with Bobby, kind of thing like that. The pro wrestling atmosphere feel to their wrestling match. I really like that because I don't know, it takes really funny people to say, hey, we're supposed to be doing this serious sport. Like people who wrestle are serious about it, and it's like any sport, any competitive sport. People that are participating are serious, and the fact they took it and made light of it, I kind of like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, Connie is like underrated funny.
She was my backup pick. I almost went with her.
Your safety.
She's a very good kind of like straight man. Like
Yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
in
She
that
is a good straight
in the
man.
Roe
Straight
v.
man.
Wade line earlier.
Yeah.
They're exiting the office, and she's like, "Miss Hill, isn't Roe v. Wade?" And Miss Hill's like, just, "You have to let him win it." So, yeah, she's a very good, smart character. Her
Yeah,
humor is
but
very
the
smart.
Chico State thing was really funny.
Chico State
Yeah,
was good.
Chico State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good pick.
All right. Who's
Excellent pick. You can go next. It's all you.
next? Okay. So I am also picking Peggy, but for a different reason. It is much like the Time Magazine Person of the Year. It can be a good person. It can be a bad person, right? And so just remember, this is the same magazine that had Vladimir Putin on the cover and called him a peacemaker. So I'm going to go with Peggy just simply because she fights and fights and fights and really gets nothing done, just gets drunk and misses work. So I think there's something there.
Yeah, Peggy.
Excellent.
This is definitely the Peggy dichotomy.
Yes, the dichotomy of Peg.
She's a complex woman.
I like that pick. Two Peggies for two very different reasons.
Yeah.
I am into it. I think I'm gonna go kind of left field. I'm gonna go with Dooley.
No.
Oh, dude.
Whoa,
I
we
like
got
the-
Dooley
I'm-
as
I
the
call
king
my
hill.
yeah.
That's good
Hill
stuff.
King.
I go for the chuckle.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a chuckle fuck.
chuckle
Mm.
fuck. Yeah.
Whoever gives me the best chuckle in the episode, if I'm on the fence, I'm gonna go with whoever gave me the best chuckle. And Dooley peeing in a locker and
Mhm.
being in the principal's office for pissing in a locker. He only had like 2 lines in the whole episode, but they were probably my favorite.
I will say that
I'm gonna
Yes,
throw it to the
he had
Dool
2
shirt.
lines.
Dooley
2
has
lines.
Dooley has fantastic timing. You know, his
Yes.
timing is
Excellent
always
timing.
great. Yeah.
And I appreciate good timing, and I appreciate pissing in a locker.
I like that he didn't
As
know
do we
which
all.
kid's locker it was.
It was just a locker.
That makes it
It
so
wasn't
much
even
better.
targeted bullying. It was just he
Yeah.
picked a locker and he pissed in it.
Very good stuff.
And also, yeah, his 2 lines were I peed in some kid's locker and girls' sports are a joke. He says, like, yeah, it's 11 words.
Yeah, but he hammered it out though. He
Girls'
did.
sports are
didn't need to
jokes.
say he didn't need to say any more than what he
Mhm.
said. Yeah, say less.
He had good mass. Yeah, this episode. Nice.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for this segment, and that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys coming on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
no
so
worries,
much,
man.
guys.
No worries
ton
at
of,
all.
Ton of fun, guys. I'm sorry if we derailed it at all.
No,
you ever-
we
No,
got a lot of
this
good
is-
90s
this
stuff
is
out there.
typical. This
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
typical for
If
us.
you ever
So
want us
guys-
on
you
again
guys fit
for
right
just
in.
random episodes, just let us know, man.
Yeah,
we love collaboration. It's kind of
he's-
funny with this King of the Hill stuff. There's a few other podcasts out there that I tried to collaborate
Speaks
with.
for himself.
And not every one of them was as receptive as you were, and some were opposite of receptive, like blocked me from
Yeah.
communicating with them on Instagram
Why
and stuff
can't-
like that.
Why
You
can't we just
mentioned
all
that
get
when
along?
I was on your
Yeah,
show.
I feel like they're
Interesting.
afraid that somebody's going to come like take their piece of the
It's
pie or
fine.
something, but none of us are making any
Yeah.
money doing this. So what pie are
there's-
we really
what
stealing from
pie?
each other?
Yeah,
It's
what
there is no
absolutely
pie. We're all just
fine.
having fun.
I think
It's
it
fine.
it
When
would
the
be
fuck
funny
did
if
we
we
get ice
started.
cream?
kind of like a Drake
Yeah.
Kendrick style beef, and we started like
Oh.
releasing diss
I like
tracks
that.
about each other.
I like
Yeah,
that.
we could do that. We should. Let me get in the lab real quick and write some disses up.
in the lab.
Died right at the end.
Oh shit. Hey, so our audio ends abruptly on our side because we were not forward thinking enough to have our iPad plugged in. And so we fought with like 5%, 3%, 1%, and then it finally went dead at the end. But it was at the end.
It was at the very end.
So we felt pretty good about that. But I will tell you this, these guys do a great show. And you know what I was most impressed about is they have sound effects. I know that's
they had a
simple
little
thing, but I
soundboard.
was
Yeah, I
pretty-
like
was
the
pretty
soundboard
impressed.
thing. That was pretty cool.
So here's what I'm telling you. I hope you enjoyed that. Number one, it got cut off a little early, so you didn't hear the end of their show. But if you want to check out the video and everything and a beautiful picture of Rusty as we recorded, go to Hill Kings, check out that episode, season 2, episode 10, right? Am I correct in that?
Yeah, season 2, episode
Bobby
10.
Slam. So check out that episode. Also check out Hill Kings. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you're automatically downloading their episodes. For us, please, if you can, go check out the Patreon. It's a $3 thing a month. You could help us a lot by keeping the lights on, keeping our iPad charged up. Also, video. Normally on a Monday, we have video. Spotify always has videos. This time you're getting the audio only because we were guesting on their show. But check out Hill Kings. And where else can they check us out, Rusty?
You can find us at bwaaakoth.com, or you could go to social media and find us at bwaaakoth, or you could email us at bwaaakoth.com.
You got it. And also check out Swimmer's Ear, our Adult Swim podcast, and then hang on for a Friday episode. That ain't right. And we'll see you again next Monday.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.